ABC, Australia's future in home entertainment. In association with Carlton, one of the world's great brewers. And Hoover, ahead of the rest.
Well, I've been to Hyde Park living in the snow time, and I've climbed the Eiffel Tower late at night, and I've seen the children playing down in the Rhine, and I've walked atop the Grand Canyon in great fright. The seven wonders of the world I stood and looked in awe, but there's something back in my hometown that gives me more. When the altar rolls, it's the greatest place of all. When the altar rolls, it makes you 9 foot tall. To see the fight for glory on the famous MCG. When the altar rolls, it's the greatest place of all. When the altar rolls, it's the greatest place of all. I remember the days my grandpa took me to see you. His great love was the mighty Aussie game, and his heroes became my idols as they strolled the MCG, and to be there for the big one was my aim. The seven wonders of the world I stood and looked in awe, but there's something back in my hometown that gives me more. 'Cause when the altar rolls, it's the greatest place of all. When the altar rolls, it makes you 9 foot tall. To see the fight for glory on the famous MCG. When the altar rolls, it's the greatest place of all. When the altar rolls, it's the greatest place of all.
It's time once again for Australia's greatest sporting spectacular, the VFL Grand Final for 1985. And from above, what a scene it is over the MCG, one of the most famous sporting grounds, not only in this country, but in the world. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you may be, and welcome to the Seven Network's coverage of the 1985 VFL Grand Final. This year, as has been the case in the past 2 seasons, it will be the top 2 sides, Hawthorn taking on Essendon. And what a classic confrontation it promises to be. Down here, the atmosphere is absolutely electric. We were informed during the week, in fact it was Tuesday morning, that the game would be a sellout. Now there are some 100,000 people surrounding me in anticipation of yet another great finals match. I just wonder what the atmosphere and the colour look like from up above. In the Channel 7 News helicopter, Norm Beeman.
Thanks, Sandy. Well, as you said, it's certainly a wonderful spectacle from up here in our unique vantage spot, about 1,500 feet above the stadium in the Channel 7 helicopter. From up here, the view leaves you in little doubt as to just how much this event means to so many people. As we approach the start time for the game, people are still coming in through the gates into the MCG, the shrine of VFL football, and they'll swell the crowd to around about 100,000. Still 1 or 2 spots left in the stands, but I'm sure that they'll be filled very shortly. Weather looking slightly ominous, a heavy cloud bank out to the northwest of the city, but it should only produce a few showers. And it'll take a lot more than that to spoil the action down there, Sandy, and back to you.
Many thanks to Norm Beeman in the Channel 7 News helicopter. And now to our Master of Ceremonies, Ron Casey.
Your Excellencies, Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. Premier, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on behalf of the Victorian Football League, welcome to the 1985 Grand Final between Essendon and Hawthorn. in previous years, this match will be seen live throughout Australia through the 7 network and associated stations. And at this point, we also welcome viewers throughout the world to this telecast of our Australian rules football grand final here in Melbourne, the capital of the state of Victoria. Through the expertise of OTC and via Intelsat, it will be seen and is being watched now in the United States of America and in New Zealand. It will be seen in the Netherlands, in Great Britain, West Germany, Italy, Canada, Japan, France, Ireland, Austria, Denmark and Sweden. Estimates say that more than 80 million people will see this grand final today. We also recognise and appreciate the support of the Australian Tourist Commission and Qantas Airways for their contribution in making these international telecasts possible. The Victorian Football League also recognise Nissan as the official sponsors of this year's VFL season and this, the grand final of the Nissan football year. It is to these people we say thank you and welcome to the 1985 Grand Final.
Our Master of Ceremonies, Ron Casey. I mentioned the atmosphere within the ground, but really it all starts well and truly before that. The banners are prepared during the week, and those people, the spectators that come to the ground, spend hours preparing themselves for their favourite pastime. So I wonder what the atmosphere was like outside the ground a little earlier on in the day. For that report, here's Peter Donegan.
Thank you, Sandy. Well, since the early hours of this morning, football fans have been arriving in their droves for this final confrontation in the 1985 season, the VFL Grand Final between the Bombers and the Hawks. It's that day of the year when convention goes out the window and footy fever really does take over. The day when you paint your face in club colours and wear just about as much of the brown and gold or the red and black as you can possibly cram onto your body. The souvenir stalls, of course, have been doing a roaring trade. It seems almost every one of the 100,000 people here today will be showing their allegiance to either Hawthorn or Essendon. Hawk supporters like these can still well remember the sweet taste of victory that they savoured in 1983. While, of course, the Bomber fans will turn back the clock 12 months from today and that last quarter comeback which gave them the flag. And these fans are no doubt hoping for a similar result. So it's time for a quick drink before the battle begins. There's electricity in the atmosphere. And Sandy, this great arena is set to burst at the seams in just a few moments when the VFL Grand Final gets underway. And the world will be watching.
Thank you, Peter. Well, the excitement really building now within the confines of the MCG. Not just Essendon and Hawthorn supporters, but football lovers throughout the land, waiting in anticipation. It won't be long. We'll be back with you in just a moment.
Day after day, a holiday.
Introducing the new limited edition 1985 Holden Commodore Vacationer.
It's a holiday.
A holiday away from the ordinary with 6-cylinder power, air conditioning, power steering, tweed cloth seats, wagon roof rack and tailgate wiper washer, power antenna and much more luxury. All at a saving of $1,000.
Day after day, a holiday.
The new 1985 Holden Commodore Vacationer sedan and wagon at your Holden dealer now.
G'day. Just because I'm in the bush doesn't mean I go without good tucker. Come and have a look how I cook at home with my Weber barbecue. The Weber is just like an oven, only better. Being round, the Weber's unique airflow system means that the heat completely surrounds the food, sealing in all the natural juices and flavour. Now, you can't burn the food, and there's no flare-up because the fat drops into this tray. Ingenious. Just put the food in, pop the lid on, forget about it. You don't even have to turn the food over. And while she's cooking, you can do whatever you like. Now for the proof of the pudding. Oh. Ain't that something? Magnificent. And it's fat-free. With a Weber, you can barbecue anything, from chops and snags to delicious roasts. But make sure it's a genuine Weber. The only barbecue with this one-touch system to sweep out all the ashes. Do yourself a favour. Get a Weber. It's the best way to barbecue anything.
No, 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 no.
Imagine if you tried to do everything with the one card. there is a one-card way.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes.
The Westpac MasterCard, the one card that does it in one. Only from Westpac, the bank.
It's summer again. The t-shirt is in. They're cool and they're loose, whatever you choose. It's gotta be buns. If you've got a chest is best. Classic styles never change, that's why we're ahead of the rest. For sport or for fun, this penguin's the one. The way that they're knit, make sure of the fit. It's gotta be buns. It's gotta be buns.
As we welcome you back to our coverage of the 1985 Grand Final, we look across the city of Melbourne and one of the most exciting buildings almost in completion. That, of course, is the Rialto. But what a magnificent sight it is. It's also a great sight here within the MCG. It won't be long now before the two teams run out to contest the 85 final. But what about those two sides? Let's take a look at the makeup of them now.
Essendon have virtually a full list to choose from in their bid for back-to-back premierships. In the back line, they've named Mark Thompson, the ever-reliable Paul Weston, and last year's Norm Smith medalist Billy Duckworth. On the half-back line, watch for the driving defence of Glenn Hawker, Big Kevin Walsh and Gary Foulds. The centre line is perhaps the most damaging in football today, with the experience of Brian Wood, the power play of Timmy Watson, and the determination of Merv Neagle. The half-forward line boasts the elusive Mark Harvey, rugged Roger Merritt and skipper Terry Danaher. On the forward line, they've named former Swan District champ Leon Baker and high flyers Paul Salmon and Paul van der Haan. The rucks are former captain Simon Madden, the skillful Darren Williams and rover Tony Elshaw. Essendon have left their options open by naming Donnell, Carey, Ezard, Neil Clark and Hurd on the interchange bench. The Rugged Hawks have named a lineup they hope will be entered into the history books as the 1985 premiers. Hawthorn can rightly claim one of the best defences in the league with backman Peter Swab, the reliable Chris Mew and Gary Ayres. Halfbacks are Russell Green, West Australian champ Rod Lester-Smith and youngster Russell Morris. The centre line consists of the courageous Peter Russo, the brilliant Terry Wallace and rugged Robert Di Pierdomenico. Half-forwards are 25-year-old John Kennedy, the high-flying Dermot Brereton and the elusive Ken Judge. Playing his last game for the Hawks is skipper lethal Lee Matthews. He's joined on the forward line by young Queenslander Jason Dunstall and the very handy Michael McCarthy. Hawthorn are without a recognised ruckman, but have swung Chris Langford into this position in an effort to counter the Bombers' height. Still, he has considerable backup from Robert Handley, perhaps the recruit of the year, and rover Richard Loveridge. The Hawks too have covered their bases, at least until this morning's Army Reserve Cup Grand Final, by naming veterans Knights, Eade, Buckenara, O'Halloran and Tuck on the interchange bench.
What a great sight it is. The MCG filled to capacity, looking down from above before we start this year's Grand Final. So from the players, while they may go through worry and concern during the week, just wondering if they're going to win a place in the final 20 of their respective sides, it's also a great week of concern, worry and anticipation for the men who control the game. The men in white, the umpires. Who will win this year's Grand Final? With that announcement, here once again is Peter Donegan.
Thank you, Sandy. Well, the men in white for today's big game are Peter Cameron and Ian Robinson. And firstly to you, Peter, your first Grand Final must be a great thrill.
Nothing like this. I've never had a feeling like this, and it's just one of a time. Amazing feeling.
Ian, this is your 8th now, so you know what it's all about. Does it get any easier as they go on?
Oh, it doesn't get any easier. In fact, I haven't had one for a few years. It's been a big challenge to get back up there again, so I'm very pleased.
The question we ask every year is who's going to take the first bounce?
Oh, Cameron is. He doesn't know it yet, but he is.
Well, Peter, how do you feel about that?
That's full cooperation, I reckon. Yeah, that's the way it is. I'll look forward to that. That'll be great. Thanks, Doc.
How did you sleep last night, finally, Pete?
Oh, terrific. This is it's only been the last half hour. I've got a bit tired, but looking forward to it in a big way. Gentlemen, congratulations and the best of luck to you both.
Thanks, Pete.
Thank you
Peter
very
Cameron
much.
and Ian Robinson, the men in white for today's Grand Final here at the MCG.
It's a great performance by the two umpires to be chosen. They certainly do go through a very, very hectic week. They are not informed till late in the week. And of course, it's their biggest day of the year as well. as the players. And so we must say, on behalf of the football public, I know that the fans here, and no doubt they'll do it again today, they love to give the man in white what we call in Australia a traditional bagging. Because in the public's eye, the man in white, the umpire, is very rarely right. But once again, our congratulations go to those two gentlemen, and we certainly wish them well for what should be a great final. It's interesting to look back before we take a closer look at the two teams, just what they've done in the past couple of years. We first saw them 3 years ago in a grand final when Hawthorn, and it was then a very, very awesome Hawthorn side, who came out and rewrote the record books with a barnstorming win over Essendon. From that grand final day, Essendon coach Kevin Sheedy has taken it upon himself to repair the very, very severe damage that was done. And he made amends last year on this turf, on this day. A wonderful victory to the Bombers, their first premiership since the mid-60s. But now, today, they're trying to do something that hasn't been done for a side for, again, a number of years. And that is to win back-to-back premierships. The Essendon Bombers have been acknowledged throughout the year as undoubtedly the best team in the competition. They did have several hiccups. One, in fact, was the grand final of the night competition. On that occasion, Hawthorn proved successful. So, the Hawks say in their own words, we know that the Bombers can be beaten, and we hope to do it today. Well, let's go once again back to our Master of Ceremonies, Ron Casey.
Ladies and gentlemen, back to Melbourne from the country and western capital of the world, Nashville, Tennessee. As your special guest, would you welcome one of Australia's great artists as she presents on this grand final day in 1958, our country's most loved bush folk song. Would you welcome Australia's own Miss Diana Trask.
Thank you so much. I can't tell you what this means to me, ladies and gentlemen, because I've sat up there in those stands as a little kid, and this is really a very special dream come true. And thank you so much for inviting me home. Thank you. Thank you. Once a jolly swagman down by the Billabong, under the shade of a coolabah tree, and he sang as he watched and waited till his billy boiled. You come waltzing, Matilda, with me. Down came a jumbuck, that's a sheep, to drink at the Billabong. Up jumped the swagman and grabbed him with glee, and he sang as he stowed that jumbuck in his tucker bag. You come waltzing, Matilda, with me. Well, up rode the squatter, mounted on his thoroughbred. Down came the troopers, 1, 2, 3. Where's that jolly jumbuck you got in your tucker bag? You'll come waltzing, Matilda, with me. Well, up jumped the swagman, sprang into the Billabong. You'll never get me alive, said he, and his ghost may be heard as you walk by the Billabong. You come waltzing, Matilda, with me. Waltzing Matilda, waltzing Matilda, you'll come waltzing Matilda with me. And he sang as he walked
100,000 people giving Diana Trask possibly the greatest live ovation she's had in her very successful variety of lifetime show business. Well, there's a sudden boo and a sudden calm that's come over the ground because everyone can sense that the two sides are about to come out on the ground. And those followers of Hawthorn, it's the booing, feeling that Essendon may be first out on the ground. For the followers of Essendon, it's the other way round. Well, one man who hasn't felt the excitement of being on the MCG ground prior to a grand final before is one of our on-field reporters in Peter Donegan. And Pete, you can hear the noise around us at the moment. What do you think?
Sandy, this is one of the great moments in sport, I'm sure. For the players, I just can't imagine what they're feeling at the moment, because to be out here on the ground and to look all around us with over 100,000 people is just electrifying. You can feel it down here, and at 2:30 it's going to be great.
Thank you, Peter. Well, our commentary team is ready. It's headed by Peter Landy. Peter, good afternoon.
Thank you, Sandy, and a very good afternoon to you, and a very good afternoon to Peter Donegan. Good afternoon to Lou Richards. Good afternoon to Triple Brownlow medalist Bob Sculpin.
Good afternoon, Pete.
Gentlemen, it's going to be a great day. It always is, the VFL Grand Final. Before we go into what Essendon might do, we know what Hawthorn is going to do, a surprise there. But we'll look at the teams shortly. Hawthorn are playing in their 9th Grand Final. Essendon, we're in the Essendon rooms at the moment, are playing in their 26th. Hawthorn have won 5, Essendon have won 13. If Essendon win this afternoon, they will equal the VFL record of Carlton. The two teams have met 5 times in a final. It's the 3rd time they've met in the grand final, 3 years in succession, and that's the first time that has happened in VFL history since the Page system of finals was introduced in 1931. The Hawthorn banner goes up, and it salutes their captain Lee Matthews, who today is playing his last game. The two sides have met 36 times since 1970, Hawthorn holding an advantage of 21 to 15. So the stage is set for what I think is going to be a memorable contest. Hawthorn taking out the reserves match here this afternoon, and that will certainly give the side a great boost as they prepare to tackle Essendon for the 3rd year in succession. The Bombers won in 1984, Hawthorn won in 83. Hawthorn, the first side out onto the MCG for the 1985 Grand Final. Bob Sculpin, how do you see the two sides matching up?
Well, I think you've got to look at Essendon and say, well, they've won 19 out of 22 games coming into the finals. They truly beat Essendon in the final, and Essendon, they truly beat Hawthorn, I should say, and they, they certainly deserve to be a raging hot favourite. But I've got a feeling that Hawthorn, they've got everything to gain and nothing to lose. It wouldn't be the first time that the underdogs got up.
Well, I'll go along with that, Bob. Of course, grand finals are certainly different to any other game, Peter, and I've seen many grand finals, played in a couple, but I still get the lump in the throat and the tear in the eye when they run into the ground.
There's nothing like it, Lou.
Essendon, as Bob said, only lost 3 matches during the course of 1985, and that truly in itself was a splendid effort under the coaching of Kevin Sheedy. They are the team to beat, the hottest favourite for many, many years in the VFL competition. And we don't know who their side is going to be, Bob, but they did name 5 players on the bench. Looking through the rooms there,
Alan Ezard was there.
Ezard was warming up. Who
there he is in the back. There he is with Kevin Sheedy now.
Who do you think will be on the bench?
I think they'll play Hurd, so I'm inclined to think that Ezard and Hurd will make up to 20 players.
Well, that room in there, Pete, would be unbelievable to be in that room getting ready to go onto the ground. Hawthorn are out there, of course.
The hardest part, job that Sheedy would have had all year would have been telling which 3 players that they were not going to be there.
That's right, that'll be because they're so strong and they've been such versatile side. But that feeling they're going through now, you could just imagine, Pete and Bob, the adrenaline running through the veins of those players, and you can see them going through the pre-match exercises there, and by golly, they're raring to go, aren't they?
Yes, and Lou, if you needed motivation at this stage of the game, then there must be something wrong with you, because
that's right.
Both sides must be so G'd up at the moment. I don't think that anything the coach said would, really matter in many respects. I think the players would be above the moon, so to speak.
I think the coach's job, Peter, is to bring them back to earth again, to say, OK, just take your time and calm down and don't do anything rash when you get onto the ground, because once the ball is bounced, it's no different to an ordinary game, but it's the build-up before the game that gets these tempers a bit frayed
and I think we could see a pretty rugged game for the first 10 or 15 minutes.
Yes, and a few mistakes usually occur in the first 10 minutes of the grand final. Bob Skilton, the selection of David O'Halloran for Hawthorn was, to my way of thinking, amazing. He hasn't played a senior game this year. What would be the thought in the Hawthorn Match Committee mind bringing O'Halloran into the side?
I think it would have been a case of that they believed in the semi-final that they lacked a bit of aggression, and David O'Halloran does have aggression. He has plenty of courage, and he may just give Hawthorn that little extra bit of aggression. But I do feel sorry for Rodney Eade, because I felt that last week Eade was a wonderful player for Hawthorn, and to be dropped from the side after a performance like that, well, it's just bad luck. But you can only pick 20 players.
Well, I spoke to Don Scott just before we went on air, and Don Scott, the former champion of Hawthorn, suggested that Chris Mew may play at centre-half forward for Hawthorn. It'll be interesting to see if he does.
The best full-back in the competition at half forward?
I wouldn't, sir. I'd leave him where he is.
I wouldn't, no, but then again, I think they're worried about their goal-kicking ability, and who knows, if O'Halloran's in the 20, I believe he will play.
Peter, as the Americans say, if it's not broken, don't mend it. I'd leave well alone.
Yes, I go along with that. Hawthorn out on the field, there is David O'Halloran, number 8, Rubber, as he is affectionately known, playing his first senior game for this year. Here come the Essendon side now. Mike Hawthorn taking the field for the 3rd year in succession in a VFL Grand Final.
Well, Ezard's there, Bob. We've got to pick up the other player that makes up the 20. It'd be interesting to see whether it's Donnell or I think you're inclined to think it'll be her.
I am inclined to think that, Lou, but who would know?
Well, we'll just try and pick Carey.
Carey is there, yes.
Well, Carey,
they might all be there at this stage, who knows?
Knowing Kevin Shedd will have the 21 players out there. I should imagine he'd do that. And it'll be interesting to see who picks up DP at a minute ago. It possibly would be Brian Wood, because he'd be the most vigorous.
He did a pretty good job against him in the semi-final, so I'd be inclined to think that Wood will be the player.
Well, I suppose, Peter and Bob, that the Bombers would be the hottest favourites in a grand final we've known for many, many years.
Possibly since Richmond in 74, Lou.
That's right. And, of course, as Bob explained before, a grand final match is different to any other game, and we know the makeup of the Hawthorn football side. They'll go down fighting if they do lose this match, and it wouldn't be surprised if they did win it.
All right, a number of players out there that we certainly will be keeping our eyes on this afternoon. We'll get some comments from you, Bob Skilton.
Yes, well, naturally, Rod Lester-Smith, the former Western Australian, has had a wonderful season for Hawthorn and did a pretty good job in voting in the Brownlow medal. Calm, cool and collected, and usually uses the ball very well. So Rod Lester-Smith will be a player to watch in this game. Lester-Smith at half-back. Dermot Brereton may not play centre-half forward if Chris Mew, as suggested, might go to there. But Dermot Brereton, when he's hot, and Brereton is a real key to the Hawthorn side. When he fires, so too to the Hawks, and number 23 for Hawthorn would make a vital difference to this game. Anybody who plays in centre-half forward is playing in one of the tougher positions in the league. We mentioned Chris Mew because it is rumoured that he might play at centre-half forward, but I would doubt it. I think he'll be either centre-half back or full-back, and Mew is one of the best full-backs in VFL football. Whether he's at centre-half back or full-back, he's got a big task. Salmon of Essendon or as selected Merritt, either player will be tough to mind. And talking about toughness, there is no player that puts in more from a physical aspect than Terry Wallace. Not from a point of view of handing out bruises and bumps and everything else, but in the fact that he's always in there at the bottom of the pack. There has probably been no greater trier in football than Terry Wallace in recent years. Lee Matthews bowing out of football today, and when you talk about great players, then Lee Matthews is right up there with the very, very best of them. There hasn't been any better player over the years than Lee Matthews. Year in, year out he has performed, and that is the hallmark of a champion. And in fact, Hawthorn may not have been in the game today had it not been for one quarter last week of Lee Matthews. For Essendon, we've got their number 1 ruckman, Simon Madden. Since taking over the mantle of number 1 ruckman, he has proven, I think, that at the moment he can justly be considered the best ruckman in the VFL today. Whether up in the ruck or at full forward or thereabouts, he's always dangerous. An excellent mark, a dangerous player, no matter where he might be. Timmy Watson's performance the other night in the Brownlow medal was nothing short of magnificent. Essendon, as a club, picked up 17 first votes and 16 second votes out of 22 games, and Timmy Watson bowled magnificently. He has put in a great season, and there is no finer player in the league. The marking power of Essendon, Paul van der Haar is one of the players that really brings home the marking power of that side. Van der Haar, a very, very dangerous player, and if Hawthorn can curtail the aerial work of Van der Haar and the other players, then Shane Hurd, Frank Dunnell, two of the players who may have been in the side today, just missed out. Merv Neagle, another one of the players, and so there is Merv was selected on the wing, will not be playing also, and that is bad luck for Essendon because he's a very, very dangerous player.
All right, the players are gathering downstairs for the toss, which will be made in just a couple of moments. Both teams lining up out there. Yes, Neagle, one of the best centre players in the VFL competition, Bob, and they sadly will miss him, won't they?
The dash of Neagle, he runs downfield. When he does gain possession, he tends to break up the forward line in a manner, break up the back line, I should say, in a manner that really does set up goals.
All right, our man on the ground is Peter Donegan, and Peter's going to tell us all about the toss and who wins it. Here he is.
And the toss has been won by Terry Danaher of Essendon. He'll be kicking to the Jollymont end. Terry Danaher winning the toss and kicking to the Jollymont end of the ground. And that, of course, is to the left-hand side of the screen. So first blood to Essendon with the toss of the court.
Right, thank you very much, Peter. Any advantage to that end, Bob, from the reserves matches you saw it?
Oh, that's one great thing about the MCG, Pete. Because of the structure of the stands and everything else, you can score at both ends of the ground.
OK, well, as I mentioned, Hawthorn and Essendon have met 5 times in finals. They've now played in the last 3 grand finals. We look at some highlights of those.
It was the grand final of '83 that probably set up the fierce rivalry that has existed between Hawthorn and Essendon. The Bombers looked to coach Kevin Sheedy to lead them to victory and the club's first premiership since 1965. Instead, they met the greatest Hawthorn onslaught of all time. The Hawks were all-conquering and thrashed the Bombers by a staggering 83 points. Later, Sheedy was to publicly criticise his team for its poor performance, a tongue-lashing that stayed with his men well into the following season. By Grand Final Day 1984, Essendon were hell-bent on revenge and kept coming at the Hawks in what turned out to be another classic Hawthorn-Essendon confrontation. At the siren, the Bombers enjoyed a 24-point margin and the victory they had waited an entire year to earn. So now they meet again in what will go down in history as the decider, the 1985 VFL Grand Final.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, would you please rise while our Australian flag is unfurled, the national anthem played, and Diana Trask sings, Advance Australia Fair.
Australians, oh, let us rejoice, for we are young and free. We've golden soil and wealth from toil. Our home is girt by the sea. Our land abounds in nature's gifts of beauty, rich and rare. In history's page, let every state advance Australia fair. In joyful strains, then let us sing, advance Australia fair.
Advance Australia Fair, and that concludes the preliminaries, and the stage is set for the 1985 VFL Grand Final. The marching girls are making their way off the MCG, the players going through further warm-ups. The set has been struck, or will be very shortly. The band marches off. Although it's going to be a late start, it's still going to be a very, very great game here this afternoon. Pretty hard to estimate the crowd. A couple of vacant seats virtually behind the big scoreboard at the City End goal, but to all intents and purposes, it is a full house. and I would imagine the crowd would be in the vicinity of 100,000.
Of course, it makes you feel great, Bob, to be at the ground. As I said before, it doesn't matter how many games you've played and how many games you see, every year is a different scene, and you still get the same feeling about it, don't you?
There's a real buzz, Lou, that you have at a grand final that you have at no other game. There is the Hawthorn Brains Trust, alongside them the Essendon Brains Trust, Hawthorn coached by Alan Jeans, Essendon by Kevin Sheedy. And the emotion that would be going through these players at the moment would be absolutely fantastic.
Players now taking up their positions. So Essendon will be kicking to the left in the opening quarter, and Hawthorn will be kicking to the right. Judging by the flags on top of the scoreboard, Essendon will be kicking to the end, favoured by the breeze, but the way it does swirl around the MCG Stadium, it probably won't favour either end.
Well, the Hawthorn benches are surprised. Russell Green and Ken Judge, Pete.
Judge, of course, spent the first quarter last week on the bench, Bob, didn't he? And then came on and kicked 4 goals.
Carey and Ezard for Essendon.
Well, perhaps that's not as surprising.
Well, Russell Green, Bob, hasn't played that well over the last few weeks. He showed a little bit better form last week.
Welcome back, all relay stations. The start of the match imminent. Umpires this afternoon, Ian Robinson, a veteran of 300 games, and Peter Cameron, who will be umpiring his first VFL Grand Final. Congratulations to both the men in white, and we certainly wish them the very best of luck this afternoon. What a lot of pressure they have on them. Now, Halloran looks as though has lined up on Salmon. Brereton is at half forward. So that's certainly one surprise move. O'Halloran on Salmon.
And Chris Muir's gone to centre-half back, Peter, on Merritt. So they're the 2 key players they're trying to cover here today for Essendon, possibly the 2 most dangerous players.
So O'Halloran got the height for Salmon, Bob?
Well, it's hard to tell, Pete. I don't think anybody's got the height for Salmon, so you may have to try and play him a different way.
Well, he'd be giving away about 14 or 15 inches, I would say, Pete. But he's a pretty vigorous player.
If it doesn't come off, I dare say Chris Mew will be moved back there very quickly. Now Brereton is moving around down to the goal square now, taking Walsh with him. First quarter on the 7 network of the 1985 VFL Grand Final between Hawthorn and Essendon. I think we can expect some fireworks early. Madden gets the first tap out. Lee Matthews gets the first kick and puts Hawthorn into attack, tries to find Brereton. In goes Bomber Thompson, just about threw it out. Brereton got one too high, and he'll take the first free kick of the game.
Yes, there was no doubt about that one. Brereton coming through, and it was not a good tackle at all from Thompson. I think we might find a few head-high tackles early in this game.
I'd reckon you would, and the tempers are a little bit frayed because of this tremendous emotion that builds up before the game, Peter.
Dermot Brereton about 30 metres out, directly in front of goal. He'd be pretty nervous. That should help a few of the nerves because he's put it through for a goal. The first goal of the match coming up for Hawthorn, and that came up inside the minute of the first quarter.
One might say that well, it was justice to think that the first kick of the game came from the player playing his last game of football, and that being Lee Matthews. He got the ball down. On replay now we watch as Brereton puts the ball through for first score of the game, 1 goal to Hawthorn.
Lee Matthews, a veteran, run over 300 games. Today, the last time he'll be wearing the brown and gold. Hawthorn by 6 points. Knocked down by Langford. Baker got one at the back. Will get the free kick. Was it going to Hawker? No, he's given it to Baker. Baker short of centre field to put Essendon into attack for the first time. Down to half forward. Knocked away by Morris. Morris looking for a free kick or a 15-metre penalty. Wiser heads, I think, should prevail because Williams has the free kick for Essendon. He's gone for a short pass. It's a bad one, and the mark taken by Chris Mew.
Must be 15 metres.
You would think so. He has brought it back. He has brought it back.
He's not going to give 15 metres.
Well, that is very puzzling. It was either play on or 15 metres. One would have thought, Lou.
I would have thought so, Pete, but still, we can't change the decision into this quarter by just over 2 minutes. Hawthorn off to a great start, and Lee Matthews playing his last game. Got the ball out of the centre beautifully at the first bounce, Bob.
Certainly did, Lou, and I think it was justice that Matthews got the first kick in his last game of football.
Well, he's been one of the greatest players we've had for many years. The ball kicked well over the centre line. It's a long one, punched out by Madden. Goes after the ball again. As a go for Baker. He's grabbed. Madden gets one high. Out it comes again. Picked up by Thompson. A short pass out to Wood. It's too long, but there's not a Hawthorn player within a mile there. Gives him a chance to drive it down to Danaher and Morris. Danaher knocks it on, looking for Merritt. Going into Merritt's back that time was Swab, but well tackled that time. It'll be play on. It'll be a free kick now. The umpire calling play on as Russell Morris drives it out there towards the wing position, the back fly. There'll be plenty of mistakes in this first quarter, and they're having a go again. We tip this. This will be on for Young and Old before it's over.
Baker and McCarthy.
Well, they're going in now, and Hawthorn are not taking any funny business today. Look at them going in, piling in there. Players falling over left and right. You pick it up, and you'll find the fighters there.
Matthews and Watson.
Look at them piling up. This is the best I've ever seen in a grand final, Bob. I can't recall.
I can't recall one like this, Lou.
Look good. Oh, golly, Peter. Talk about stacks on the mill. You've never seen anything like this. How they'll unravel them, I don't know, Peter.
Well, there could be, every player on the ground is involved, and you could book the whole two sides, Bob, couldn't you? You really could book the whole two sides.
Yes, you certainly could, and if they're going to start reporting, they'll be writing for quite a while, so it could be a long quarter.
And they need a couple more new books, wouldn't they?
Trainers coming out to try and cool a few heads, but as you said, not really surprising. Bertie Di-Domenico seemed to be quite happy because he was smiling when the boundary umpire took his number, so obviously he was hit.
Well, Pete, I heard
one wouldn't know who to report. No. This is the whole point in this.
You'd be a bit unlucky, wouldn't you?
In a situation like that, when most players are involved, anybody who is picked out is certainly unlucky.
I heard on the grapevine before the game that Hawthorn weren't going to take any funny business today. If Essendon started to dish it, they'd bounce back.
Well, I don't know who started that.
Well, we're not saying who started it, but that was the little bit of a tip that I got, and it certainly looks as though it's going to be on for Young and Old. They'll settle down after quarter time, I would say. I don't know how he found that free kick.
Dear, oh dear.
Well, the Hawthorn fans not too happy about that. There's the kick well over the half-forward line. And a mark taken here by Danaher out there at half-forward, about 60 metres out from goal. Of course, Hawthorn off to a great start there. 1 goal, 6 points, a short pass. No one can take that mark. Another stack up. I'd hate to be in the middle of that mess. You wouldn't want to go on the ground today, Bob. You'd get up pretty quickly, wouldn't you?
I'd be happy to be out there at any time, Lou.
I think you would, Bob. During the pre-match luncheon, I think you were champing at the bit. Halloran's free kick, not well delivered. Di-Domenico and Wood. Bertie sidesteps him nicely. He's gone for a short pass down towards Handley on right centre wing. Handley, good tackle, folds. Loose ball on centre wing, picked up by Glenn Hawker. Hawker's kick is a short one, and again not well delivered, and it'll be a mark and or free kick, whatever. Going to Michael Tuck. The ball will have to come back, of course. Did Tuck start on the bench, Bob, or was he out there?
No, it was Judge and Green on the bench.
Trying to pick up where he's playing. He seems to be a loose man in defence at the moment. Tuck up to right half forward, knocked away by Walsh. Putting his body in, Di-Domenico. He's got a free kick for a high tackle. Oh, he could have reversed that. Russo. Bad kick, Madden. Former Essendon captain. Takes the mark at centre half back. Straight, long, left footer. Danaher got high, couldn't take the mark. Snapped up by Elshaw. Elshaw down to half forward for Essendon. Ball bounces, favours Baker. Now it favours Mew. Mew cool in the crisis. Long kick. McCarthy went for the knock-on, had a fresh air shot, picked up by Brian Wood, having a few touches so far in the opening quarter. Wood's kick out towards right half forward. Merritt and O'Halloran. O'Halloran showing him a clean pair of heels. Wallace on centre wing. He'll put Hawthorn into attack.
And the kick is back towards centre half forward. Over it goes now, picked up by Madden. He goes down pretty quickly. Wood can't get out. The umpire said dropping the ball. A free kick to length, but they mean business here today. Hawthorn, I've never seen the Hawks so ferocious. The ball over the half-forward line. Up to Brereton and Walsh. Punched out. It'll be a free kick to Brereton on the shoulder.
That's tiki-taka with that.
Well, I think that free kick was there, and it was interference. The umpires were quick to pick it out.
I think you'd find it was well, there it is there, well before the ball actually came down. Right. No doubt about the free kick.
So it's Brereton going for goal number 2 from about 25 metres out, if that just about directly in front. This will give Hawthorn a great start and build up their confidence no end. And there it is. It'll be another goal to Brereton.
No, it can't be true. Oh, it could be. In fact, yes, no doubt about it. $1,000 in crisp new notes. And that's what you'll find waiting for you in the glove box of every new Nissan bought between now and September 28th. $1,000 cash in hand on any of these fabulous new Nissan cars and commercials. It's the Nissan Grand Final giveaway, happening now at your participating Nissan dealer.
Come alive, come and drive, Nissan.
Back in the centre again. Hawthorn firing pretty well in this first, just on 8 minutes of the first quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. They're 2 goals, 12 points. Langford doing pretty well on the ruck against the big fella there, Madden, but a mark to Vanderhaar. He quickly plays on. The umpire may have called play on. Spinning out of the pack was Kennedy, was well grabbed by Watson. Hanley runs into 3-4 Essendon players. Watson with brilliant play. Gets around an opponent, then goes for a short pass. Over it goes to Welshaw. The Bombers go back into attack over their half-forward line. A centre half-forward. Flying high was Madden. A beautiful mark.
Great mark to Madden. And this boy can certainly take a mark or two. He's gone for a pass, and it's okay. Harvey, left forward pocket. He'll bring up Essendon's first score. Unless he decides to go for a pass, of course.
Notice that Wood's got a pretty nasty cut on the eye too, Pete.
I don't think he's the only one out there with a couple of cuts after that all-in Malay on the outer wing. So Harvey should be able to get a goal from there, only about 15 metres out. And he has. First goal to Essendon, picked by Mark Harvey. That came up at the 9-minute mark of the first quarter. Hawthorn by 6 points.
A very happy Essendon fan saluting that great goal by Harvey. And the youngster, only 19 years of age, really showing just how great a player he is. That's an excellent goal under pressure.
We'll watch it again from another angle. As I said, he was only 15 metres out, but on a fair angle, but it never looked like missing. Back into the centre, Hawthorn by 6 points, 9.5 minutes gone. Matthews, kick number 2, looking for Lester Smith. Oh, missed him, or did he get him? It's a mark and or free kick, possibly a free kick. Rod Lester Smith looks like possibly playing at half forward or on the flank. Walsh, good defence.
Well, Vanderhaar's certainly in defence.
I can't understand that, Bob, because at this early stage of the match, he's just about their most brilliant forward.
Well, they're playing one short up the forward line, Lou, and that is a surprise.
McCarthy knocks it down, picked up by Kennedy, can't get clear. In fact, he could almost be penalised for holding the ball. In fact, he has been. Free kick will go to Paul Vanderhaar, one of the veterans in the Essendon side. Madden, name on it. Madden up towards centre field. Vanderhaar, great mark.
Other way, Pete. Other way, it's against Merritt.
That's right, he was hanging on to his opponent's shoulder that time, and he's got the free kick.
Well, a shame because Essendon were looking good there with a very promising forward move. Certainly nothing against the Essendon skipper.
No, it's against Merritt.
Long ball up to Brereton. Brereton and Walsh. Brereton a flyer at the back. They're hard to take from there. Picked up by Watson. Watson to Nobby Clark. Clark, short pass up towards the left centre wing position. Weston. And for Hawthorn it was Morris, but it's out of bounds on the centre wing position. It will be a boundary throw in at the 11-minute mark.
And it's about 75 metres around from the Essendon goal. They're 1 goal, 6 points to Hawthorn, 2 goals, 12 points. The first quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. Langford and Merritt go for that. They both smith it. Back it comes to West. That's smothered by his own teammate Williams. And the ball is forced out of bounds again. Still on the centre wing position. About 75 metres around from the Essendon goal. Ball back into play. Langford and Merritt. Down goes Langford. Merritt gets this one. Doesn't know where to go now. He's clear after running into Clark. The ball bounces the wrong way from 2 players. It's finally picked up by Morris over to Matthews. Matthews back to Mew. His kick is a hurried one out towards the wing position. Lester Smith nearly marked that. He'll get a free kick for in the back. So he's off to a good start today. Lester Smith, a short pass. Bit of fumbling going on by both sides. A good hand pass by Loveridge. Out it comes to Tuck. Always a dangerous player over to Wallace. A long kick looking for Brereton, but he's pretty well covered by Walsh. Oh, he's nearly got the mark. No, he's not. Is he playing it? I think he's playing the mark to Brereton. He's got a chance to kick 3 goals. He's already kicked 2, their first 2.
Watch it again.
Oh, golly, that was a great mark, Bob.
He was out of position. It looked as though he had no chance. And
2,
no
3.
doubt about the mark.
And they've got the Bombers a little bit rattled at the moment with their ruggedness and aggressiveness. And the ball is through for another goal. That's his third. So it's Hawthorn, 3 goals, straight 12, 18 points. To Essendon, 1 goal, 6 points.
I think they've caught the Essendon defence a little bit unawares, Lou. The move of Brereton down to full forward, as we watch on replay, the mark once again. The move of Brereton to full forward and moving out, of course, Dunstall, not quite out to centre-half forward. And now we see Terry Danaher coming down to full back against Brereton, and Walsh to be moved to the forward line.
Well, he certainly moves them around, Shooty. Danaher down there onto Brereton has already kicked their first 3 goals and looking as though he's a match winner. 13 minutes gone of this first quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. Because it's nothing new, Bob, for Shooty to move all over the place.
He has been known to move them around a little bit.
I'd reckon Walsh has gone to the forward line. 13 minutes gone of the first quarter. Hawthorn 3 straight shots for goal, 18 points to Essendon 6 points. Bit of juggling going on as Ayres gets the ball back over Hawthorn's half-forward line. Knocked on that time by Thompson. Back to Weston in plenty of trouble.
Free kick, Essendon.
And Gibney got one a bit high, and Weston got it on the head, and he'll get a free kick. Out there at half-back. Goes for a short pass. Not a good one, but Roger Merritt there over to Williams. Williams' kick is upended by Matthews. It'll be downfield. I think the umpire was wrong that time, but it shook him up, Williams.
That's what you call ticky touch with free kick.
I'd reckon that was a fair enough run. There was nothing much that Matthews could do. Well, just as he kicked it, well, this is a charity goal, I would say, to Weston. If it comes off to Madden, that'll be Salmon to take the kick. That shook Williams up a bit, that bump from Matthews.
It was a beautiful hip and shoulder. That's the way football should be played.
He's only about 35 metres out from goal directly in front, and a chance for Essendon's second goal. There it is on its way now.
It's a goal.
And it's a goal, so it's Essendon now moving on.
Seen a whole lot of champions in Australia.
And here's a champion offer from NEC. Buy any of these superb NEC stereo TVs or a feature-packed NEC stereo hi-fi video recorder, and we'll give you a free autographed copy of John Bertrand's brilliant new book, Born to Win.
It's another champion offer from NEC.
Remember, Born to Win is absolutely free with the NEC hi-fi video recorder or stereo TVs.
From NEC.
6 points the difference in favour of Hawthorn. 15 minutes gone first quarter. Plenty of free kicks being dished out in the opening term. Perhaps not surprising. That's one again going to Essendon. Madden over to Clark. Clark long to half forward. Knocked away by Chris Mew. And Brereton and Danner having a bit of a box on down on the goal square at the other end. But we'll stay with the football for just a moment. Picked up by Chris Mew.
Baker copped a decent one on that one in that incident too.
Dunstall marks at half forward. Now Danaher and Brereton will be better advised to get on with the play because the ball's coming down that way pretty quickly. Now they do. Kennedy. Well, certainly a torrid opening, Bob. Not entirely unexpected.
No, it's one of those things that happens in grand finals. We know it shouldn't happen, but it does happen.
I think wiser heads would or should prevail. Let's hope so. Madden. Brereton.
Well, Brereton should have been given a free kick for holding the man then.
Yes, well, the umpire didn't see it.
I think at the moment, Bob, that Essendon are a little bit shocked by the aggression shown here by Hawthorn.
Yes, and the movement around, moving Weston up the field, and it's the move of Brereton down to full forward has really caught Essendon a little bit unawares, I do believe.
Lovely smothered then by Handley. Results in a boundary throw in right forward pocket for Hawthorn. Watch that smother again. Knocked down by Madden. Picked up by, I think it was Foles. The smother was on. Booted away by Elshaw. Bounce favours Schwab. Looks for a free kick. None there, says the umpire. And it will be a bounce at Hawthorn's right half-forward flank, about 50 metres from their goal. Terry Wallace being spoken to by Ian Robinson.
Well, he pushed Elshaw on the chest. as if to say, look, don't you start standing over anyone here, or you'll get one for your corner.
A bounce. Right half forward flank for Hawthorn. Knocked away by Madden. Can't find a bomber, though. Picked up by Wallace. Wallace over to Matthews. Deep here to Medico. Looks for a long hand pass. It's a good one to Ayres. The back pocket player has a shot at goal. It's swinging around. He's put it through, I think, for a goal. No, he hasn't. It's a point, but it was very close. I don't know what Ayres was doing down there, Bob, but he's possibly followed a man.
I don't think he's playing in the back pocket, Pete. I think you might even find he's either half-back flank or wing or just following Hawker wherever Hawker goes.
And that's the first behind of the match. It came up at the 17-minute mark. Now the ball's back into play, is it again? No. Take 3.
Well, there's only one player down there on the Essendon forward line, or 2 players. That's the O'Halloran and Salmon.
Danaher finally does kick the ball, and he's looking for Madden. Langford's there with him, just about outmarked him. Should have tried the punch initially, perhaps. Picked up by Wallace. Wallace's kick is a short one. Danaher and Brereton. Brereton's got it again. Can he make it goal number 4? He's gone for a hand pass. Over to Matthews, in the back, surely. That's a goal. Or will it be a free kick?
Free kick to Matthews.
Well, you've got to give full marks to Matthews. Got the first kick of the match that got Hawthorn going, and he's back there in business again now, Bob.
There's no doubt it was a free kick, Lou. You just cannot tackle in that manner.
Not dropping the ball,
wasn't a good tackle by Van der Haar.
Matthews has put it through for a goal. That's his first, and Hawthorn 4th. Hawthorn 4-1-25. Essendon 2 goals, 12 points.
Still a great start to this game. Essendon with 2 goals on the board. Hawthorn 4 goals, 1, and that's the way the attacking has been. Hawthorn have had most of the play, and I just repeat that I think they've caught Essendon unawares with their forward moves.
Well, we're just on the 19-minute mark of this first quarter. 13 points the difference in favour of Hawthorn. They've surprised everybody. Essendon starting this match at short favourites, very short favourites. Backett comes down to Watson. He gets through the pack, then he loses it. He's slung out of the pack, and the umpires found a free kick to him. He might have acted a bit, but he got the free kick. So Watson's got a chance now to send the Bombers deep into attack, and they badly need a goal. Looking for Salmon, coming out. O'Halloran's got him well guarded. He pushed him in the back. Yes, he spotted that. There was no doubt about that free kick. It was there all the way. And, of course, he's at a decided disadvantage, O'Halloran, giving away about 15 inches. Oh, God, he pushed him fair square on the bar. Thank you. So Salmon.
There's no sense in that one.
No, it was
he's already kicked 1 goal.
Walsh coming off the ground, Ezard on.
He's already kicked 1 goal, the big fellow. He's only about 30 metres out on a slight angle, taking plenty of time to line him up. There it is. But he's off target this time. And it's through for 1 point. So at the 20-minute mark of the first quarter, it's 2 goals, 1-13 Essendon. To Hawthorn 4-1-25. Walsh off the ground. There's a hand pass coming out now to Swab. He could be in trouble. He's grabbed, he's lost that, but Tuck's there to back him up. They were a bit lucky that time, Hawthorn. As they go for Baker on his own and takes a good mark out there at half forward. So a big chance now for the Bombers to go back into attack. A lead by Salmon. It's too long, and coming through is Mew with beautiful style. A hand pass over to Ayres. Back it goes to Lester Smith. Out there wide, picked up by Russo. Gets a hand pass back. Hawthorn looking good as McCarthy gives it back to Russo again. And he'll go for the long. Will he go for a hand pass, which he does, over to Wallace. That's a hurried kick. Duckworth couldn't get clear. In goes West, and he's grabbed a hand pass to Foles. The ball comes back now to Van der Haar, flying, and he's got the mark out there at half-back. They were lucky to get away with that, Essendon.
They manned up well, though, just the same. Van der Haar looks for Thompson. He's found him. Or played on too high the tackle, though. Whoa! Oh! Well,
he did play on, Pete.
I know, but I thought the tackle was a bit high.
I think he might have ducked his head.
I think in a case like that, you give the player doing the tackling some sort of advantage as Matthews pushes in the back.
Ryan Wood went through pretty solidly, but it's not a free kick to him. It's going to Baker at half-back. Baker chips it in short. He's looking for Elshaw, and he's found him. Elshaw on his own. In fact, there's not a player within 25 metres. Long kick by the former Demon, looking for Merritt. Oh, good mark. Merritt looking to get the ball moving quickly, and 15-metre penalty. And that brings him well within kicking distance. Or did he not pay that?
Yes,
he did pay 15.
A very short 15. He wouldn't like to buy real estate off him. Short pass. I don't know whether it was intended for Madden, but he's got it.
Yes,
it certainly was. A lovely pass.
And Madden has taken 4 marks.
A little bit lax there, Hawthorn.
Yes,
Let Madden get on his own.
So I think Langford thought that he was going to go for the kick at goal, and so went down there to try and help out against Salmon.
Now, Madden, a very accurate kick at goal as a rule, and he's only about 20 metres out, maybe a fraction more. No mistake about that one, Simon. He's put that through for a post. Oh, hit the post.
Right on the top, Pete.
Yes, it hit that little button right on the top of the post. So extremely bad luck for Essendon. 14 plays 25. Hawthorn by 11 points. Halloran looking for a lead across the half-back line. Ball's got plenty of height, not too much distance. Straight to Roger Merritt. Must be a mark to Merritt.
There's Mew making the mistake of going for the mark from behind.
And could have got 15 metres. In fact, he has. Very silly, Chris Mew.
I don't think Cameron saw that. I think that Merritt could have taken that one. I think Merritt put it right over the umpire.
I reckon.
Good luck to him. It pays to think. If he can put it over the umpires, well and good. And he is directly in front of goal, so he should be able to put this through.
Probably the most valuable big man in the game too, Pete.
He's very versatile, and people say he's slow, but I tell you what, he's not as slow as a lot of people would imagine. Merritt. Shot at goal. That's through. No doubt about that one. A poor defence by Hawthorn to let Merritt in for the goal. Essendon come within 5 points. 3-2 to 4-1 in the 85 Grand Final.
We saw nothing at all in this game, and as we watch the replay of the kick from behind the goals, there's no mistaking that. Merritt doesn't miss too many shots when he has a direct kick at goal, and I do believe he put that one over umpire Peter Cameron.
23.5 minutes gone. Only 5 points the difference. The Bombers bounce back. Centre bounce. 5 points the difference. The ball comes back to the centre. They're all throwing themselves at each other there, and the umpires found a free kick. It'll go to Loveridge. That first 10 minutes of play in this grand final was really hectic as the ball goes out wide. It's too long for Mew going after with Mew as Hawker. Both having a great tussle. Good play on the part of Mew. Gets the ball back there. A chance for Baker to mark. That was a courageous effort. This fellow seems to lift his game in the finals, Bob.
No, he's a big occasion player, Leon Baker.
I noticed he was limping going back there. Let's hope for the Bombers' sake that he's okay. Short pass to Hawker. Goes for a pass again. Oh, Watson copped a heavy one. The umpire said it's on the shoulder. He's called the advantage rule here as Williams drives it up there looking for Sam, and he flies. Couldn't hold the mark. He actually knocked his own man down. Oh, Morris dropped that one, tapped on by Langford out the swab. They could get out of danger here. They have. Over to O'Halloran. There was a surprise selection here today. Out to DP Domenico on his own, and Birdie's got a chance to go for a big hand pass. Over it goes to Kennedy, ran right into Thompson, and it'll be holding the no. He's called play on, the ball back again, and Foles takes a good mark down there in defence. The Bombers starting to look a little bit better now. They're more settled as the ball goes out wide to Duckworth and Merritt. Oh, they knocked each other over there, but Duckworth has got the mark. He's going to say something to Merritt too.
I bet he did.
There wasn't much talking going on there, Bob.
Well, it's not Merritt or Duckworth to be blamed. It's the other players in the vicinity.
Up it goes now over the half-forward line. Tapped on again by Madden. Over it goes to Ezard. His kick is well smothered that time by Lester Smith, and the ball is out of bounds. About 40 metres around from the Essendon goal, and they're trailing by 5 points, 3-2-20 to Hawthorn. 4 goals, 1-25 at the 25.5-minute mark of this first quarter of the 1985 Grand Final.
Boundary throw at Essendon forward pocket, and the Bombers have got another free kick on their forward line for a high tackle, I think that was, and it will be Merritt again, or is he giving it to a teammate in Watson? It's going to be Watson's kick. So plenty of frees being handed out on the forward line. Matthews got one from a free, so did Brereton. And Merritt got a 15-metre penalty, which enabled him to go. Watson, 30 metres out, on a slight angle. Watson puts it through for another one. The Bombers in front for the first time in the 85 Grand Final, and they hit the lead at the 26-minute mark of the quarter. 1 point in favour of Essendon.
Bob, I don't think we've seen a more hectic start to a Grand Final than what we've had here today for a long, long time.
It is quite a while, Lou, as we watch on replay. That free kick, a little hard to see, but nonetheless, the umpire's in a better position than we are.
26.5 minutes have gone. Essendon by 1 point after that goal to Timmy Watson. That was his first, and Essendon getting the ball out of the centre through the agency of a free kick. Williams takes the hand pass. They could get another one here. Big Salmon. Mark, no. Dropped it at the last minute. Watson burrows in to try and come out with the ball, but it will be a bounce, as umpire Ian Robinson, about 20 metres out from the Essendon goal. The Bombers looking a much better side in the last 10 minutes after the opening onslaught. Salmon and Langford. Knocked down by Langford, actually. Picked up by Michael Tuck. Couldn't get a clear kick at the ball. Down go Morris and Williams. Ayres. Where's he hooked that? Back to Loveridge. Loveridge onto Morris. Oh, too high.
Oh, golly, I'll tell you what, Merritt hit him pretty hard then.
I mean, Williams will give away another 15-metre penalty if he's not careful. Watch that again. Oh, whack.
I'd play the free kick.
I reckon I would.
Ayres at centre field. Matthews is his target, and he's just about got that. Matthews, the umpire says no. Thompson, beautifully done. Clark, centre field, long kick. Essendon's half-forward line. Ezard, good mark, strong grab.
15-metre penalty here again, Pete.
Well, they're giving away some foolish ones now.
Well, that's the wrong spot to give them away. They were half forward.
On the forward line. Well, Merritt got a goal from a 15-metre penalty, and Ezard is almost in the same spot. Perhaps a little bit further out, so he's decided to go for a pass. Bad defence from Hawthorn. Salmon was on his own. There wasn't a Hawthorn player within 15 metres.
This fella's starting to look very dangerous to me, Bob. He hasn't done that much yet, but he's looking dangerous.
You just can't understand a player like Salmon being left alone, can you?
Sure. No Salmon. Taking the usual time to kick it. Should get the distance from there. He's about 45 metres out and a very accurate kick at goal. That's not bad. 1 point. So he's kicked 1 goal, 2 so far, Paul Salmon. And I'm wondering if Alan Jeans is having thoughts about moving Chris Mew down there. Essendon by 2 points as we approach the 29-minute mark of the quarter.
I think he may have moved Chris Mew down there already, Pete, as the ball goes over the centre half back position, comes out now to Wood. A beautiful hand pass to Matt. He runs around in a big circle there to get onto his left foot. Looking for Salmon again. Sights him, taps it out beautifully to Williams. But Williams has spoiled the kick. It's a shocker and through for 1 point. That was magnificent play on the part of Salmon then.
It's excellent play, Lou. He made no attempt to go for the mark, and you can see that it's just like a tap from the centre bounce.
That's what makes Rovers look good, that sort of ruck work. Never noticed the Rovers thanking them either. Ball back into play by O'Halloran. Out there to centre half back. Morris has got a chance, but spoilt by Wood over to Madden. Back there again towards Elshaw, kicked off the ground by O'Halloran, coming out to meet it as Watson. Shows a lot of pace, too much for Langford, goes for short pass to Merritt. And he's got the mark, right on the edge of the kick-off mark, and they're starting to look mighty strong now.
Beautiful play by Watson, Lou.
Great play. There's a bloke at barracks for Essendon.
He'd want to be careful before the day's out.
I'll tell you what, there's the pass again, Bob.
Yes, it was a wonderful play by Watson. He made no attempt to have the shot at goal. He knew there was only a rough chance that he'd kick it from the boundary, and he just picked out Merritt, who lines up now for his second goal.
And he's only about 7 metres out from goal, directly in front, just about. He'd have to fall over to miss this one. There it is on its way. And that's a goal. So the Bombers starting to fire now at the 30-minute mark of this first quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. 5 goals, 4-34. The Hawthorn 4-1-25. I think they were a bit shell-shocked early, Essendon, because of the aggression shown by Hawthorn, but they're settling down a bit better now.
Oh, they've settled down well, Lou, and there's the man that I think spells the real danger. In fact, 2 of the players, Watson and Merritt, spelled danger for the Hawks.
Yes, with a capital D. Essendon looking good, 5-4 to 4-1. Shortest priced favourite since 1974. A little bit of a shock in the opening 10 minutes, but they're looking the goods at the moment. Free kick going Hawthorn's way this time. It will be taken by one of their veterans in Michael Tuck. Maybe playing his last game, we don't know. Short pass from Tuck finds Gary Ayres at half forward. Long way from goal though, couldn't possibly score from there. Brereton and Danaher. The mark is taken by McCarthy. He almost shepherded out.
That was a good mark.
Skipper. Hawthorn hasn't scored since the 18-minute mark. We're now at the 31.5-minute mark. So, as you've judged by the comments, it's been all Essendon in the past 12 minutes or so. McCarthy should be able to remedy that. And what's he done with that one? It's a goal. McCarthy putting through his first of the afternoon, and a badly needed one for Hawthorn. 5-4 to 5-1. Essendon by 3 points.
As Alan Jeans comes down to get prepared for his quarter-time address, and we watch on replay. A lovely mark by McCarthy coming across the front, and the body of Brereton between he and Danaher gave Danaher no chance of punching the ball away.
32 minutes gone in the first quarter. Essendon lead by 3 points, 34 to 31 in the 85 Grand Final. Mammoth punch away by Madden, but there's a free kick.
Playing pretty well around the ground, Matt, but I think Langford's doing fairly well against him in the ruck, Bob.
I'd have to give it to Madden. It could easily have been a free kick against Essendon, but Hawthorn with a poor piece of disposal, not taking advantage of that play.
Yes, Duckworth has the mark at centre-half back. Duckworth wide towards half-forward. Madden again. It's 7 marks, isn't it?
Oh, golly. He's looking good, isn't he?
5 marks to Madden. He's about best on the ground. Here's another 15-metre penalty on Essendon's forward line. In fact,
Pete, you can afford to give them away on the half-back line, but not down there.
Oh, here's a goal to Izzard. Put down your glasses, folks. Great roving by the little redhead, and Bluey puts it through. I reckon he's a relation of Don Fitzsimmons, our director, that guy. 40 to 31. Essendon by 9.
Maybe he doesn't fall over the belt because he gets that excited.
Not good defence that time. Morris and every other Hawthorn player all concentrating on getting the ball away from Salmon. They were all up in the air, and as we watch on replay now, the shot from behind the goals, there's Morris up in the air and his opponent just waiting down for it.
Alan Jeans looking a little bit worried at the moment. 33.5 minutes gone. That's a pretty long quarter, but in view of the fight we had at about the 10-minute mark, I'm not really surprised. Play on call. Williams drops it.
Holding the ball, Pete.
Now another wrestle we have between Williams and who's on the bottom of that?
Well, there could be 10 minutes of time off because that bit of a wrestle we had over there before took about 5.
Now Lester Smith has just got laid out, and he will take a free kick. And I think after all that Judge came on for Hawthorn.
Into the quarter by just on 34 minutes. That's out wide towards the boundary line. There's the Sara to win the first quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. And Essendon score 6 goals, 440 to Hawthorn. 5 goals, 131.
Come to a very special part of the world. It's never crowded, it's never hurried, it's always beautiful.
Grand Final, and one of the more picturesque settings around Melbourne. Government House, surrounded by beautiful gardens and the Botanic Gardens away to the left. That, of course, is not too far away from the action at the moment at the MCG, where we see Essendon leading by 9 points. After Hawthorn got off to a good start, goal kickers for Essendon, 2 to Merritt, and singles to Harvey, Watson, Izzard and Salmon, and for Hawthorn 3 to Brereton and singles to McCarthy and Matthews.
Today's match is part of the 1985 Nissan VFL Premiership season.
At the first change, Essendon by 9 points. The red-hot favourites leading a narrow margin, certainly, Bob Skilton, but how did you see the first term?
Well, it's amazing to me that when you consider good players for the quarter, that Hawthorn are within 9 points, and that's probably because of the great start by Brereton with 3 goals on the board early in the piece, which forced the move of Walsh to the forward line and then eventually off the ground. That was successful because Izzard came on and kicked a goal, and Danaher at least has prevented Brereton from kicking any more goals, but he still set up another one for Matthews when Matthews was pushed in the back and got the free kick. But Essendon had by far the best players on the ground. They had a superb centre half forward in Merritt, an excellent ruckman in Simon Madden, who played well right throughout. Watson, an ever dangerous player across the half forward line, and Baker and Salmon doing their job as well. But Essendon had by far the best of the players. For Hawthorn, Chris Mew doing a good job, even though Merritt is on top. Ayres playing well up the ground, virtually on the wing. He's done his job, and Burton with 3 goals, but very few Hawthorn players coming to light.
On the ground, Peter Donegan and Peter McKenna. Gentlemen, how did you see it from down there? Thank you, Pete. Well, the atmosphere before the game, Peter McKenna, was electric, and about 10 minutes into the quarter, it really got electric.
Well, I think you could have bet on that, Pete, that there was going to be a lot of tension, a lot of pressure, feelings high, and that caused the big blue, and both sides desperately wanting to win it.
Hawthorn looked good early, but Essendon came back hard.
They do. They look very dangerous in the last 10 minutes of that quarter, and Sheedy's not frightened to make a move. Once again, Walsh up to the forward line and moving down to the back line. He's a very good coach.
Right, that was the Essendon cab walking past us. Let's go back now to Peter Landy for the start of the second quarter. And we're just about ready for the start of the second term. Hawthorn this quarter kicking to the Jollymont end. Essendon will be kicking to the main scoreboard end. Salmon starting in the goal square, and Brereton still in the goal square for Hawthorn at the opposite end, minded by the Essendon skipper Terry Danaher. The second quarter of the 1985 VFL Grand Final from the MCG. Essendon leading by 9 points, 41 plays 30, possibly could have been more. Langford and Madden. Madden's been brilliant so far for Essendon. 5 marks and 7 possessions. Schwab goes for the knock-on, tries to find Matthews. In comes Watson. Shows him a clean pair of heels, but the kick is atrocious and marked by Michael Tuck at the left half-back flank. Tuck looking for a lead across the centre line. Wood and Di Domenico. Brian Wood almost took a great mark. Di Domenico comes down, hits it straight out of bounds. Arguably deliberate, but it won't be a free kick. Boundary throw it on the centre wing. Madden again. Wallace. Stack up developing there. Again, we'll see a bounce. Umpire Peter Cameron coming in pretty quickly to affect that. No further addition to the score since quarter time. Langford and Madden. Thompson seemingly caught. No free kick again. Very close to the boundary line, picked up by Williams. Chance for Thompson. One of Essendon's most consistent players on his own, Michael Tuck. Merritt, late on the scene, palms it down beautifully to Elshaw. Elshaw with a long shot. Salmon's got the set easily over O'Halloran and had his name on it. Decides to play on. He's gone for a hand pass. Harvey, goal number 2. Essendon, brilliant.
Brilliant play on the part of Salmon that time, Bob.
Well, I think I would have personally paid a free kick to Michael Tuck, and I felt that Merritt gave a free kick away coming across and tapped the ball away, but it was a beautiful mark by Salmon. One grab, and when you're that high...
He just had to stand there, Bob, didn't he, really?
Yes, but, you know, you've still got to be in position. You've still have to hold them, and it was a lovely mark by Salmon.
Essendon lead by 15 points now in the 85 Grand Final, 7-4 to 5-1. We're at the 2-minute mark of the second term.
Centre bounce again. The Bombers starting to look good. Madden dominating the ruck as Matthews tries to get through the pack. Couldn't get a kick that time. Still plenty of scrimmaging going on, and the umpire will ball it up. As I said before, Salmon is looking mighty dangerous to me. Madden against Langford. Knocked out that time by Langford. Back it comes to Watson. Ran into a brick wall. Couldn't get clear. Langford couldn't get his kick out. Finally, it comes out now to Thompson. Shows too much strength for Matthews. A long hand pass. A dangerous run. Kicked off the ground smartly that time by Fowles. Fowles brushes Hanley off. Nearly gave a free kick. A long hand pass from Nobby Clark looking for Williams. And Fowles actually got in the way that time, and he goes over the boundary line pretty quickly. And the ball is out of bounds up towards Hawthorn's half-forward line, about 80 metres around from their goal. They're 15 points in front at the 3-minute mark of the second quarter of the 1985 Grand Final, knocked out by Lester Smith. Back it comes here now, a chance for Duckworth to get clear, but he was grabbed too high by Hanley, and he'll get a free kick out there at half-back. So it's Duckworth with the free kick. Not a player down there on Hawthorn's forward line at all. As the ball goes back there towards the centre of the ground. That's Madden. Oh, right over the top of Di Domenico, over to Watson. And the Bombers go deep into attack, looking for Salmon once again. The big fella got his hands to it. Back it goes to Merritt. Tries to crash through the pack, but lost it. Tuck with a hand pass to Matthews. Over it goes to Ayres. A little bit slow, but he's still got his kick out wide. It was under a bit of strain. Coming in to meet it now is Duckworth. Goes for a pass. Picked up on the half volley that time by Hawker. A beautiful hand pass over to Watson. Short pass. Back it comes to Thompson. Thompson with a hand pass to Madden. Short pass. It'll be okay. There's Bombers.
It was lovely teamwork by Essendon on that occasion. It really started with a poor piece of disposal by Hawthorn, and then Duckworth got it down, and Essendon from there played superb teamwork.
Hazard has already kicked one goal, going for goal number 2 from about 30 metres out directly in front. What's he done with that one? 1 point. So the Bombers move on to 7 goals, 5:47 to Hawthorn, 5:1:31. 4.5 minutes gone of this second quarter.
David O'Halloran, a surprise inclusion in the Hawthorn side today. His first senior game for the year. Kicks the ball back. In front is Morris. The ball tapped down, picked up by Wallace. Oh, Kennedy's pulled an easy one. Hawthorn needing some scoring pretty quickly. Folds. Traps it well. Beautifully done, Gary Folds. Knocked back by Kennedy. Wallace sidesteps nicely. Short pass. Deep to Beneco on his own. Shoots out the hand pass. McCarthy. Duckworth. Clark. Out of bounds. Boundary throw in. Right half forward flank for Hawthorn.
The Bombers really going after him now, Bob.
Yes, Essendon have really settled down, Lou, from that initial burst by Hawthorn, and Hawthorn are renowned for starting early, and they really need a goal at this stage.
Or 3 or 4. That was a throw, says the umpire. It was against Thompson. Free kick will go to Kennedy. Kennedy fair way from goal, about 50 metres.
I want a goal here now, Pete, to put them back in business, just to lift the spirit of it.
Yes, the spirit would be flagging more than slightly at the moment, Lewis, I think. Kennedy 50 metres out, right half forward flank, fair angle. 1 point, I think, judging by the crowd reaction. Goal umpire agrees. And behind the Hawthorn, that's their first score of this quarter. Coming up at the 6-minute mark, they still trail by 15 points. Danaher looks for a lead. He's found one. Oh, Williams, beautiful play. Chipped in front of Kennedy. Didn't look a good pass. Williams out to Hawker. He just tries to fist the ball clear. Does so. Still in play, is it? Or is it out of bounds? It is out of bounds, and a boundary throw-in will take place on the outer side. The scene of the battle earlier. The most amazing all-in blues we've seen for a long time. Certainly in a grand final. I can't recall anything like that ever before. Suppose we could go back to the 1945 Bloodbath Grand Final. Something like that probably happened, but certainly not in modern times. Once again, a bounce. Still on centre wing.
Would you think, Lou, that Hawthorn might be well advised now to slip Dunstall back to full forward and bring Brereton out? Then certainly the move is not working at the moment.
I'd go along with you, Bob.
They're not getting the ball down there, are they? Now, that is a free kick for, or is it another bounce? Still another bounce, this time on centre wing, 7 minutes gone.
And the difference still 15 points in favour of Essendon. It'll be a ball up out there on the centre wing position. The capacity house just about today, over the 100,000, or pretty close to it, Pete. Knocked out by Madden, but wasn't a very successful one. Kicked off the ground. It comes back to Wood, and Di-Pierdomenico having a good wrestle there. Di-Pierdomenico can't get out of the pack that time, and the umpire will ball it up out there on that half-forward line for Hawthorn over towards their centre half-forward position, about 60 metres out from goal. Still trailing by 15 points. A hurried kick that time by Clark, back out towards the wing position. Lester Smith knocks it on. This is a dangerous one, picked up here by Harvey. He looked there for the big fella Salmon in front. He's got it. And as I said before, looming up as the big danger here today.
He's having a field day, isn't he?
That was a beautiful bit of play on the part of Harvey too, incidentally.
Yes, but poor play by Lester Smith there, Lou, and you know, I wouldn't have Lester Smith on Watson. I think it's
suicide.
You just can't handle him anyway, and I think you're not seeing the best of Lester Smith when you ask him to play on Watson.
Salmon going for goal number 2 from about 25 metres out directly in front. There it is on its way, and he's hooked that one. And of course, that's a blessing in disguise for Hawthorn. 7 goals, 6:48 Essendon to Hawthorn, 5:2:32. Alan Jeans, the coach of Hawthorn, looking a little bit worried, and I don't blame him. Ball back into play by Chris Mew. Punched out by Hawker over to Harvey. A hurried kick as he slugged. There's a chance for Salmon again. And this is the boy I was talking about. And last year he was the most sensational player in football until he damaged his knee, and now he's back in this grand final. He's kicked 1 goal, 3. Going for goal number 2 now from about 25 metres out, but the angle is much more acute. But I just feel that he takes a little bit too long to kick the ball.
He's always done that, Lou. Right from the moment he came into league football, he's taken a long time, and so you do what's natural for yourself.
Let's see what happens with this one.
That's not natural. He'd kick even though it might get through.
No, it was touched right on the line. That was a bad kick as he slipped. He's not too happy about it, so it's still 17 points the difference. Kevin Sheedy, well, I think he would be happy with his team's performance so far at the 9.5-minute mark of the second quarter of the 1985 Grand Final.
Well, Hawthorn can thank their lucky stars that Chris Mew hasn't kicked straight, otherwise they'd be looking down the barrel. Good kick by Mew. Lester Smith knocks the ball down, picked up by Elshaw, but dispossessed quickly. Lester Smith again, short kick up over the centre circle. Bounce favours Weston. 2 Hawthorn players fight each other for it. In goes Loveridge. We haven't seen much of him today. Duckworth caught, held it for a fortnight. Loveridge from half forward. Down towards Brereton. Oh, it's a goal! It's a goal! Over the head of Danaher and Brereton, and it bounced through. Well,
You can get it riding. You can get it sliding. You can feel it coming on about 4. A hard-earned thirst needs a big cold beer. And the best cold beer is Vic. Vic Bitter. You can get it walking. You can get it talking. You can get it working a plow. Matter of fact, I got it now. Victoria Bitter.
Hawthorn trailed by 11 points, 38-49. Second quarter. Picked up by Ayres, nearly lost his head as he got that kick in out towards the centre wing position. Brian Wood does it beautifully. Gets the hand pass out to Thompson. Duckworth it was. Duckworth down towards right half forward. Elshaw is there for Essendon. Tuck for Hawthorn, the ball over the boundary line. So boundary throw in between wing and right half forward flank for Essendon. On the left is Madden. McCarthy in the ruck. Baker. Straight to Loveridge though. Loveridge's kick is a high one. That's bad disposal as well, and Duckworth takes this mark. Langford, I think, prepared to concede a 15-metre penalty there, but none given.
That's the place to give him away, Pete.
Yeah, not on the forward line. He didn't give one there, perhaps surprisingly.
Walsh back on the ground too, incidentally.
Kick is a high one. Elshaw. Essendon showing more desperation at the moment. Harvey knocked away by Russo. That was well played from Peter Russo. Has to get around Izzard, does so. On towards Morris. Morris's kick is a high one. Brian Wood in the box seat. Madden there again. Oh, mark number 9. Playing a ripper game, Madden. He's well in line for the medal today. And this guy is too. Thompson inside the square. Short pass. Harvey again. Can't take the mark, or has he? No, it's a play on call from the umpire, and I think a correct one. Dunstall, O'Halloran, Loveridge, Thompson. Thompson getting the front position, doing it well. Playing a superb game. Hawker tries to crash his way through, not successful, lost possession. Schwab looks for the hand pass. Ayres tries to paddle it out further, not successful, but in the back call. Going which way, I'm not sure. It's going Essendon's way. Clark takes the free kick. He's gone for a short pass. Williams not quite ready for that one. And again, it wasn't a good pass. McCarthy gets clear of Watson.
And the ball goes out there towards the wing position. Tapped to the ground. The umpire's called play on. Coming in to meet it now is Cop Baker. He goes down, but he won't give in. He goes after it. The umpire will... No, he was going to ball it up, but he let it go. Fortunately for Essendon, Baker gets it out wide with a beautiful pass over to Elshaw. He'll look for Salmon again. He's got a chance to mark this one. No, he couldn't get there in time, and it's through for 1 point. I would say that Hawthorn are a little bit lucky that the Bombers are off target at the moment. 7-8-50 plays 6-2 38. Matthews coming off the ground, replaced by Russell Green. Ball back into play again. Falls a bit short. Chance for Watson. Oh, that's a strong mark by Lester. Smith ran into a bit of trouble. Still got the hand pass out to Hanley. A long kick over the Hawthorn half-forward line. Punched out by Danaher. Backing up as well there is Weston. It's a high kick back to Danaher and Swab. And that's a strong mark to Danaher. Nearly went off the mark then, too. The umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. Just on the 14-minute mark, a long hand pass coming out there to Weston. That didn't help the cause very much. Up looking there for Madden, another mark, and that's mark number 8. The kick by Madden is long, looking for Merritt. Into his back was Mew. The umpire said play on as the ball is hand passed back there looking for Ezard, but he kicks it out of bounds. That was good play on the part, or good thinking on the part of Harvey, but it didn't come off. So 14 minutes gone. It's still 12 points the difference in favour of the Bombers.
Boundary throw in. Essendon's forward pocket. Knocked down by Merritt, picked up by Ezard. Salmon, oh, be a dream come true, this fellow he's having today. All he has to do is kick straight. He's taken 5 marks.
And he's doing it now against Chris Mew. And
But Snow White could kick this. He's only about 15 metres out, directly in front.
I think it wasn't very hard to work out he was going to be a danger when he tapped that one up to, I think it might have been Ezzo with that magnificent knockout, Bob, in that first quarter.
yes, he's looked good as not on camera. Tuck off, judge on.
He's put that one through. 2 goals to 7.
Australia is famous for exporting wheat and wool, iron ore and coal. But one company exports Australian-made products to countries like Britain, Germany and even Asia. Products that earn Australia around $1 million a day, every day of the year. This company is our largest exporter of manufactured goods. Holden. It does a lot more for Australia than just build cars.
Essendon leading 56-38. That's 16 points. Back into the centre, McCarthy loses out to Madden. Essendon again get it out of the centre, but it's going to be a Hawthorn free kick to stem the tide, momentarily at least. It will be taken by Di Domenico. Short of centre field, out wide, looking for Dunstall. Oh, great mark to Weston. And Essendon taking the points pretty well everywhere at the moment.
I think if Dunstall's going to be out there, Lou, then it's got to be right from that full forward position.
15-metre penalty.
Yeah, I'd go along with you, Bob.
Madden, best man on the ground, gets it back to Watson. Oh, an Essendon fumble. How unusual. McCarthy over to Langford. Now Langford's gone up to Brereton on his own. He plays on 10 metres out and he's put it through for a goal to Hawthorn, a badly needed one. 4 goals to Brereton, playing a lone hand up on the forward line, 56-44. And Hawthorn trail now by, what's that, 12 points.
Well, there's no doubt that this fella's keeping them in the game, Bob. That was a bad fumble by Weston.
Yes, it was, Lou, and but still, nonetheless, it was a bad mistake to hand pass rather than go for the kick. And we see now on replay 4 goals. The 4th goal coming from the boot of Dermot Brereton, and while that was going on, tucked back onto the ground, airs off.
Here's to the bench. 12 points the difference, 8-8-56 to 7-2-44 as we approach the 17-minute mark of the quarter.
Madden against McCarthy. Well, they both missed that one. Di Domenico drives them back over the half-forward line. There's a mark. Now he's called play on to Kennedy. In goes Walsh, misses that. Over to Wallace. Back it goes to Langford. Hawthorn go back into attack again, looking for Brereton, but it's too long and it's out of bounds. Well, Brereton doing a marvellous job down there. He's kicked 4 goals out of their 7. Of course, he hadn't been playing too well until today. He played a bit better last week. Ball back into play again. Chance for Wood. Walsh on the scene a bit late, and the ball is out of bounds. About 50 metres around from the Hawthorn goal. There's Alan Jeans giving a few directions. Ball back into play again. Knocked out by Matt, picked up by Russo. That kick is smothered. A chance for Judge on the ground now. Down goes Thompson. They pile in there, and the umpire will ball it up once again. About 50 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. When you look through best players, Essendon are loaded with them. You can't find that many good ones for Hawthorn, Bob.
No, Hawthorn around the ground have been struggling, Lou.
Yet they're well within striking distance, only 12 points down into this quarter by the second by 18 minutes. Knocked out by Langford, a fumble, comes back to Walsh, he loses the ball. Still plenty of fumbling going on by both teams there, and the umpire will ball it up once again. Still about 40 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. Well, a goal here for the Hawks will work wonders for them, I would think. Knocked out by Langford. Walsh runs into trouble at a fresh air shot, picked up by Hawker. A hurried kick back towards the centre of the ground. Coming in to meet it now is McCarthy and Harvey. Nearly a free kick to McCarthy, taking the free kick at centre field. Quick hand pass over to Morris. Morris gives a long kick over the half-forward line. Brereton at the back flies. He might have got that run. He's played it. Doing a magnificent job down. That was a marvellous mark. by Dermot Brereton.
That's all the more reason why I'd have him out at centre-half forward at the moment. I think he's really running hot at the moment, and it's just not getting down to him as often as you should be.
From about 40 metres out on a 45-degree angle going for goal number 5, and there she is on its way. That's a good one. And the Hawks are back in business, and no wonder he jumped in the air that time. The hairdresser's Delight's doing a marvellous job, isn't he? 56 plays 50.
6 points the margin, and Hawthorn not really playing well, but they're still hanging in there, and it might well be a good sign for Hawthorn, Lou, because without playing well, they're only 6 points down. So if they can get their game together a bit, they could be off and running.
5 goals to Dermot Brereton. He's the leading goal kicker in the match to date. 19 3/4 minutes have gone, second quarter, 6 points in it in favour of Essendon. 56 plays 50, knocked down by Madden. Get sick of saying that, but he's doing a great job in the ruck, and he thumps it 35 metres downfield. Green, who started on the interchange bench, out to centre wing. Baker Kennedy went the knock on, could have almost been in the back. Watson runs into trouble, still gets boot the ball. Well played, Timmy Watson. Halloran has to beat 4, couldn't do so. Hawker's there for Essendon. Out to Wood. Out to Merritt. Merritt steadies, 20 metres out, slams it through for another one to Essendon. Roger Merritt playing great football. 3 goals, 9-8 to 8-2. Essendon by 12 points.
And those 2 key positions up forward, Merritt at centre-half forward, was a bad bounce for O'Halloran. You really couldn't blame O'Halloran at all. But the 2 key positions, centre-half forward with Merritt and full forward with Salmon, real dangers for Hawthorn.
Roger Merritt, the leading goal kicker for Essendon. He has 3, Paul Salmon has 2, Harvey has 2. 12 points in it. Hawthorn trail 50 to 62 in the 85 Grand Final. Becoming a little bit overcast now here at the MCG. And Loveridge got a nice one there from Merritt. Tap back to Madden. Easily Essendon's best player. Izzard, the 2 number 15s. Izzard and Morris. Clark comes in for assistance. He's caught with the ball. Morris will take the free kick at right half-back flank.
Strong tackle that time by Morris. 21 minutes gone of this second quarter. And it's 12 points the difference in favour of Essendon. Hawthorn putting up a pretty good fight. Over the top of the pack at half forward. Walsh tries to get through the pack, but managed to trouble. He actually threw that out. There's a free kick against him. It'll go to Dunstall.
And his first kick.
I think it is his first touch. Second. Ball back towards the forward pocket. Oh, there's hanging on there by everybody. There was picked up by Judge. A snap at goal. It might be all right. It is a goal. So you've got to give Hawthorn credit. 9-8-62. Essendon. Hawthorn bouncing back once again. 9-2-56.
Why would you start Judge on the bench, Bob?
Well, I think with the team balance, they had to pick up a few Essendon players. I thought that may have been a free kick to Terry Danaher on that occasion. I thought he was tackled too high, but been a couple missed on that occasion. Judge taking full advantage of it.
Well, we're at the 22-minute mark. And it's only a goal the difference. Alan Jean still giving plenty of orders up there in the coach's box. But he'd be pretty pleased with his side's comeback here. 6 points the difference in favour of the Bombers. Knocked out by Madden. Down it goes there to Merritt. Taps it on beautifully to Thompson. He's grabbed, but he shrugs his opponent off. Looking up there for Salmon again, but he's off target. Punched on by Morris, but he's left it in deep in Essendon's attacking zone. He wasn't too happy with that decision.
So I think it was a case of Chris Mew thought that Morris was going to mark, but did not tell him.
Only about 20 metres around from the Essendon goal. There's 6 points in front. 62 plays 56. Knocked out by Matt, picked up by Williams, a snap and goal. This is not a bad sort of a kick. What a goal. So they're 12 points in front again. And no wonder the big fella went across and gave him a hug. 10 goals, 868 Essendon to Hawthorn. 9 goals, 256.
It's a lovely piece of ruck work there. As it's tapped over the back, and Williams, a superb piece of roving to finish it off. Firstly, to win the ball, and second, to snap in that manner. As we watch again,
Hawthorn's lack of height starting to tell, Bob?
I don't really think it's a case of that, Pete. I think it's just around the ground Essendon's class just a little bit better.
23 and a half minutes gone. 12 points the difference. The Bombers in front. And this fellow, the centre bounce, Matt, number 27, is dominating the game. There he got another knockout. Picked up by Loveridge. It's smothered. Punched on by DP a minute ago. Back it goes to Madden again. It's Wallace getting a hurried kick back there, looking for Judge. In goes Langford. He's grabbed. There might be a free kick to Essendon. Go there to Duckworth. He was grabbed when he didn't have the ball that time by Dunstall. A hand pass to Clark. Short pass. Oh, it's a shocker. Grabbed by Langford. Oh, well smothered that time by Duckworth. Picked up by Swab. His kick is not a good one. There's Timmy Watson. And the brilliant Watson breaks clear as he breaks that bit of play up for Hawthorn a pass. And the ball marked there by Wood.
Well, Walsh let one go at Judge and he got one back.
As the ball kicked on again, up there towards the half full on the pack fly. Punched out by Morris. Smothered that time by Weston. Knocked on by Swab. Wallace got one a bit high. Over to Hanley, but Morris has dropped the ball. Picked up by Baker. A beautiful bit of play. Twice he dodged the players as he sent it up to Salmon again. He flies at the back of the pack as Ezard. He can't pick it up. Now he's got it a snap for goal, but he's off target and it's through for 1 point. This is a pretty good game, this grand final.
Ezard had Harvey to give the ball to on that occasion, but didn't even look.
69 plays, 56 in favour of Essendon, 24 just on 25 minutes gone of the second quarter of the 1985 grand final.
But didn't look, Bob. I don't think he saw him. He was on his own. Tuck. Tuck's kick in towards the centre circle. Duckworth got one in the back, must get the free kick.
Might have been a bit lucky, he got in the way of the ball that time, Duckworth, I reckon.
No doubt.
The free kick was there.
Pushed him fair square in the middle of the back, and he's got a 15-metre penalty. The amicable truck driver from Bomber territory, Merritt rather. Baker. Folds. Off target, out of bounds or a point. I think it's out of bounds. It will be a free kick to Hawthorn. We're into the time-on period of the second quarter now. Chris Muir is the Hawthorn player with the ball. Wobbly punt kick, doesn't travel that much distance. Madden can't take the mark. McCarthy had it. Maybe there was a play-on call there. Morris does, out to Green. Green out to O'Halloran. Started at full-back. He's not playing there at the moment, of course. Too long for Dunstall. Brereton, pushed Danaher fair in the middle of the back. Kennedy tries to get onto his right foot, does so. Snapshot off target, 1 point. One behind to Hawthorn, 10-9-69. Essendon, Hawthorn 9-3-57, 12 points in favour of Essendon, going for their 14th VFL Premiership and, of course, their second in succession after they won by around about 4 goals last year.
Pete, I believe that the umpire should always give the forward the benefit of the doubt. He's never going to be the aggressor. He tries to get away from his opponent.
Danaher's kick in. Looking for Madden, can't find him. Watson, though, backs him up well, tries to get the hand pass out. He can't do that either. The stack-up develops, a holding the ball decision. That was a little harsh, Robert, wasn't it?
Well, I think it was because he missed the first one.
I'd reckon.
So Terry Wallace has the free kick for Hawthorn, short of right half forward flank. Wallace has gone for a pass to Brereton. Langford tries to palm the ball down, not successful. Judge and Walsh tangle again at the Brereton, offloaded by Hawker. A play-on call. Hawker does so out to Nobby Clark. Clark gets clear for Essendon.
And it's out there towards Watson. Wallace on the scene a bit late here. Down goes Watson. Was that in the back? The umpire said yes, it might be. A little bit late giving the decision that time, Peter Cameron, but the free kick. He's caught him a little bit late on the back of the head.
It was a free kick, though.
Short pass. Not a good kick back there. Going through the pack that time as Fowles over to Baker. A perfect hand pass out there to Ezard at half forward. Screws the ball back, looking there for Wood, but DiPierdomenico's in the way, takes a great mark. Quickly plays on. It's a bad hand pass to Wood, but he tapped the ball and it comes back to Ezard again. He's in the back against DiPierdomenico. So Ezard's got the free kick out there at half forward. And Salmon calling for the lead. He's in front now. Can he mark it? He's got it. Well, he's the danger man.
That's the great part about Salmon. Not only is he just a big, tall player, he's a superb leader, and he really does play the full forward position like the true full forward.
There he is again, going for goal number 3. He's kicked 3 goals. Kicked 2 goals for us, should say. He's going for goal number 3 now from about, let's see, no more than about 30 metres out from goal. There's the kick on its way. Right on the result, it's a goal. So they move on to 11 goals, 9-75. Essendon to Hawthorn, 9-3-57.
Delighted Essendon supporters as we watch on replay. Alan Ezard placing the ball beautifully out in front of Salmon, and with a good lead and a well-placed kick that leaves just no chance whatsoever for the full-back, who in this situation is now Chris Mew.
Should have started there in the first place, I think. 75-57, 28 3/4 minutes gone, second quarter, 75-57, a good lead.
Knocked down by Madden. Williams, high, half forward. Morris folds. Folds has got the mark. Folds goes for a short pass. Schwab intercepting for Hawthorn. Morris. Some of Hawthorn's handball has been atrocious this afternoon. They put players under pressure with many of them. Domenico a couple of minutes back, and that one there. So a bounce will take place at Essendon's half-forward line.
Still, Pete, when you put under plenty of pressure, the hand passes always go astray, don't they?
I think, as Pete said, though, Lou, they're putting themselves under pressure.
McCarthy got that one down, actually. Green got one in the back. He'll take a free kick at centre-half back for Hawthorn. Nearly 30 minutes gone. It won't be as long a quarter as the opening one. We had that all in blue on the outer side. Wood. That is a mark.
Hawthorn's disposal is poor.
There's another word for it, Bob, but you can't use it on air. Clark. Almost a great mark out there to Thompson. Green looks for the hand pass. Lester Smith grabbed too high, a little bit lucky to get that. And Russo it is. And Russo will take the free kick at the left half-back flank. That hand pass comes off, out to Morris. Morris's kick is long. Up over the centre wing. Walsh will go the spoil, but he hit it straight down to Domenico. Can he get clear? No, great tackle, Kevin Walsh. Madden throws it out to Watson. Nothing for that. Hawker slung. Ball in towards centre field. McCarthy gets it onto Schwab. Schwab's left footer up towards Timmy Watson. Standing there on his own, takes the easiest of uncontested marks. Danaher. Williams. Essendon stream downfield again. There's the siren for half-time as Roger Merritt rides the bump from Russell Green. Won't worry, big Roger the Lodger. 11:09.75 at half-time. Essendon to Hawthorn 9:3.57.
Well, there's the man of the moment. Well, I know that Madden's the best player on the ground, but he's doing a great job down there, Salmon, at full forward. He's kicked a little bit inaccurately today. 3 goals, 4. But down the other end, too, we've had a player that's played with a lot of success. But, Peter, this game certainly started off as we haven't seen a grand final start off for a long time. There was so much fire, and I think we must have waited 10 minutes. Well, it is frustration, but it's settled down now, and I think it's a pretty, you know, it's just playing normal football now with a bit of vigour.
Yes, the Hawthorn's disposal, as Bob Skilton mentioned in that quarter, or perhaps not only in that quarter, very, very poor. They haven't been able to get their run-on game going at all. Essendon have been looking for teammates. They've been fighting them, and to my way of thinking, that's the style of play that's got Essendon to the lead at the moment. It's not an invincible margin for Hawthorn to try and overcome, 75-57. They did it in the reserves earlier this afternoon, but the pressure that Essendon are putting on the Hawthorn players is certainly going to make it tough for them in the second half.
I think most of the people that came here today thought it may have been a bit of a one-horse race, and Hawthorn dressing rooms now, and they've certainly put up a pretty good performance. They haven't had as many good players as Essendon, but typical of Hawthorn, they've really bounced back here today, and in the early stages of the match, they were out to prove to Essendon they weren't going to be stood over, and they showed plenty of aggression here today to make a game of it.
75-57 in the 1985 Grand Final, the Bombers in the lead.
Anyone can create a product. But it takes an ingenious and dedicated people to take that product and develop it to its ultimate. NEC Computers, the power of Japan.
What's behind the pepper says? Seal it, really.
Thinking of buying a new bed? Then listen to this tremendous news. For a limited period, you can purchase a magnificent Sealy Posturepedic queen-size bed for the price of a double bed. Regularly selling for $699, now you pay only $599. Hurry into your nearest Sealy retailer for your Sealy Posturepedic queen-size bed now and save $100 into the bargain.
Sealy, really.
Earlier this year, millions were spellbound by the scorching story of Lily, Porn Queen turned international movie star. We watched breathless as Lily tracked down the 3 women who abandoned her 20 years before and found the mother she always wanted. Now, the unforgettable characters of Lace are back, twice as passionate, twice as daring, twice as devastating. Lace 2, 4 women swept into a whirlpool of danger, mystery and desire. Now, Lily must find her father or lose her mother forever. Lace 2, commencing Monday, 8:30. This is the story of Smithy, the world's greatest aviator, hero to a nation, Australian legend. It is also the story of the man behind the legend. Smithy, the battler with a dream, the war hero loved by women and followed by men. The restless adventurer who broke records in the sky as easily as he broke hearts on the ground. The epic adventures of a larrikin, a lover and a legend. Smithy flies again in a magnificent new Australian miniseries. 1,000 Skies, coming soon to 7.
The Outsiders Tower, another of the famous landmarks around Melbourne. Again, not too far from the Melbourne Cricket Ground. Things, I dare say, a little bit quieter there this afternoon than they are at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, where Brownlow medalist Brad Hardy is being driven around the crowd, and everybody rising as one to applaud his efforts in winning this year's trophy. 11-9-75 to 9-3-57. Essendon leading in the grand final. The goal kickers for Essendon: Salmon has 3, Williams 1, Izzard 1, Merritt 3, Harvey 2 and Watson 1 for Hawthorn. Brereton has 5 goals. Singles to Loveridge, McCarthy, Matthews and Ken Judge.
So looking at the score, Pete, I'm amazed personally that Essendon are not far further in front, as we see Brad Hardy being applauded for his excellent win in the Brownlow medal. Looking at that first half, I think Hawthorn could do with somebody of the skill and daring, I might say, of Brad Hardy right now. Their disposal around the ground has left a lot to be desired. They've got themselves in trouble on many occasions with the number of times they've hand-passed to somebody that's under pressure, and if it hadn't been for that player there, number 23, Dermot Brereton, with his 5 goals, Hawthorn, could be in even more trouble. They're being taken apart in the rucks with Simon Madden, a superb player, the 2 key positions, and right now I think we see where things really started to get a bit busy early in the game, and there was only 36 players in it, and
the guys on the bench stayed where they were, Bob.
So you shouldn't laugh, but it's not a good thing for football. I see Van der Haar there. I think Van der Haar was actually trying to quieten things down in that piece of the fracas, and so who knows what's going on at this stage.
No one does. They don't even know what's going on, Bob.
Our director, Don Fitzsimmons, didn't know which fight to punch up, and no pun intended.
Well, it would have been most difficult for the umpires to report somebody. Who would they have grabbed, because everybody was in it?
Well, I suppose if an umpire's there and somebody comes in and does it right in front of him, he does see it, and but when there was so much going on, whoever is reported is probably a little bit unlucky. But early in the piece, with Brereton lining up at full forward, he took Walsh apart and kicked 3 quick goals. He caused Danaher to be moved down to full back, and Walsh went to half forward. He was then taken off the ground. Izzard came on and kicked a quick goal, which was a good move by Sheedy. But that was on that one we saw Williams cop a decent hip and shoulder from Lee Matthews. That meant a free kick downfield, and I think Salmon's first goal. But right now we see a goal by Matthews as it's set up by Brereton. Matthews gets a push in the back, and eventually goals from that particular piece of play. But in the second quarter, Matthews did fade out of the scene and was taken off the ground and replaced by Judge. Morris getting one from Merritt there, and Merritt and Salmon have been extremely dangerous, along with this player now, Timmy Watson. And I'm a little bit surprised that they've just let Watson run around.
Yes, they did last time too.
Actually tagged him, and maybe they think they haven't got anybody capable of doing the job. And they haven't used Hanley in a tagging role like they did the last time against Williams, and so all in all, Essendon have had by far the better players. And well, when you look at the play, I think you said earlier, Pete, that it's amazing that Essendon are not further in front.
Yes, they lead 11-9-75 to 9-3-57 at half-time.
And we saw there the height of Salmon as he hand passes across now, and really O'Halloran just had no chance whatsoever of being able to contain him.
Bob, it's just not the big fella Salmon's height that really counts, because he is a talented player. See how he leads out there. He knows what it's all about, doesn't he?
Well, he plays full forward like a full forward. He's not like a ruckman who's been sent down there to do a job. We saw Loveridge kick a goal there, and neither player They were both wrestling on that occasion and it went over their head for a goal. But we've witnessed a couple of times today some beautiful leading by Salmon. It's not just his height, as we saw there, and the ability to take a mark, as Weston makes a mistake and it comes out to Langford, and eventually a goal here from Brereton, who got away from Danaher and kicked his 5th goal. And Brereton, the one shining light up forward for Hawthorn. Judge came on and kicked 1 goal, and then once again there is Brereton, and he's been an excellent player, as it looks as though rain is falling.
Yes, a light shower at half-time. A couple of showers were expected. I think Essendon will be hoping that it pours down, because they played very well in the second semi-final against Hawthorn at VFL Park. When it did rain in the 3rd quarter, Essendon went right away. Half-time sprinters coming up after this break. We'll be back for that shortly.
Are you happy? Let's go and have a drink. G'day. You know, I've been breeding thoroughbreds here for about 15 years, so I reckon I know a good horse. And as a true Scotchman, I also enjoy a good whiskey. No, not Scotsman, I said Scotchman. And that's why there's always a bottle of Johnny Walker Red behind my bar.
Hey, let's drink to us all.
True Scotchman.
Johnny Walker Red Label Old Scotch Whisky, the first choice of true Scotchmen around the world.
At the end of the Ansett runway at Tullamarine, there lives a rabbit. But Ansett has just put on even more flights to and from Sydney during the morning and evening business rush hours. So he's hopping it to the end of certain other airlines' runway, where life's a lot more peaceful. Ansett, more rush hour flights between Sydney and Melbourne than any other airline in the world.
Where else in the world would you find a sign to nowhere else? Who would build and race dragster super tractors? Did you know of a world-famous aviator saved from drowning by surf lifesavers? Did you know the true origins of our footy? Ever heard the world's whistling champion? He broke 57 billiards records, beat the world's best, and was given a unique memorial. They're weird, they're wonderful, and very Australian. Share all the brand new fun tonight at 6:30 on 7.
It's getting pretty hard to feel sorry for you.
7:30 Sunday.
He's not your first mistake.
Sons and daughters.
Who the hell do you think you are, eh?
Romance turns sour for Beryl.
I'm appointing a manager. My nephew.
Wayne seizes an opportunity.
I'll talk how I please, and if you don't like it, you don't have to live with it. You can move out.
Karen is another daughter.
Don't be so proud.
Pride is what got me through all the years when you weren't around.
Sons and daughters, 7:30 Sunday on.
Well, that's probably a view similar to what the Parachutists that are coming over the MCG have at the moment. Landing almost in the centre. Well, they will be shortly, and I guess that's about the only way that you would get into the Melbourne Cricket Ground today without a ticket. Nevertheless, I think I'd prefer to go through the turnstiles. Receiving a warm round of applause from this capacity crowd here at the MCG. I think we had a mishap a couple of years back when a parachutist, in fact, landed in the railway yards. He sort of missed his approach up.
They're good just the same, Peter.
They are.
They can have it on their own.
Yes, not for mine. Thank you, Robert. I'm not quite sure whether that is the full complement. I think perhaps it might be. So the half-time sprint's just about ready for us. Our caller will be Peter Doniger.
Ladies and gentlemen, runners are at the starting blocks now for the HSV 7 Grand Final sprint. The race over 100 metres, and we have contestants from 11 of the 12 clubs, with Hawthorn being involved in the Army Reserve Cup and also in today's Seniors Grand Final. There will be no competitor from Hawthorn, but let me introduce to you now the contestants. Representing Carlton, Fraser Murphy. Alan Eade representing Collingwood. Stephen Clark representing Essendon. Richard Osborne from Fitzroy. From Footscray, Michael Ford. From Geelong, Michael Cole. Melbourne, Russell Richards. John Collins from North Melbourne. From Richmond, Peter Sikorsky. Representing St Kilda, 3 times winner Jeff Ablett. And from the Sydney Swans, Mark Bayes. First prize $1,000, second prize $300, third prize $200, and Brim medallions, donating a medallion to each of the runners. They'll be under starters' orders in just a moment. Runners are allowed to wear spikes. Starting blocks cannot be used. And we are ready for the start of the HSV 7 Grand Final Sprint. Richard Osborne just making his way back to the starting line. Down there with Stephen Clark. Jeff Ablett, who's won this event 3 times and was runner-up last year behind Doug Cox. Starter about to call him up. 100 metres. Starter calls them up now. Set, false start, and Jeff Ablett, I think, may have been the cause. So once again, the starters will be recalled to their blocks. Just repeating, a field of 11. And Brim medallions, the sponsors of the medallions, which will be received by the 3 place getters. Officials of the Victorian Athletic League, looking after proceedings down at the start. And the runners being called back. Russell Richards going back for Melbourne. Bayes, Sikorsky, Collins about to move up. Stephen Clark representing Essendon. And again they move up. Settling into position. Shouldn't be long before we have a start. Set, racing. Ablett came out very quickly. Also going out fast, Osborne, Fraser Murphy, Stephen Clark is showing good speed, and Russell Richards coming through, and Ablett right down the outside, and Cole just in front, and Cole's won it. Cole's just beaten Ablett, and Russell Richards in 3rd placing. Very tight finish.
Well, there it is, a very tight finish. We'll have to wait on the official announcement, I think, for the result there, gentlemen. Here it is in the slow motion replay.
Ablett was leading at that stage, Pete.
Yes, he might have just been picked up on the line, though, Bob. Richards in the middle.
That's Cole on the outside, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, Cole, Ablett.
I reckon Cole
with Richards
might have won
third.
that.
This is the end-on shot. I don't think that will help us at all.
No.
In fact, I'm sure it won't.
I think Cole might have won it.
I think Cole might have won it with the throw.
All right. We'll await the official results, and we'll check that for you in just a moment. We'll take a break.
Tonight, a Slack security system sets the scene for the perfect payroll payout, and the flying squad comes up against some pretty tough opposition. The Sweeney, London's elite crime squad, 9:30 tonight on 7.
You'd be surprised at some of the hazards that pop up on our roads from time to time. For some people, it's the last surprise they'll ever have. RTA motorcycle rider training courses give riders expert tuition in both basic and advanced riding skills, the kind of skills that could save your life. Call the RTA today and find out more about motorcycle rider training courses designed to take the pain out of learning to ride.
Hands up all those who wear Seiko.
Trains, the most romantic way to travel. 7:30 tonight, a ticket to see magnificent Australia aboard her colourful locos, diesels, sleepers and rattlers. A fascinating trip to remote outposts. A bumpy ride to the back of beyond. Great railway journeys of Australia. The people, the places, the trains that make the rails around Australia unique and exciting. Reserve your seat for the premiere of an entertaining new series, Great Railway Journeys of Australia, 7:30 tonight, following Weird and Wonderful Australians. When he first arrived at Richmond, Kevin Sheedy was told that he was too slow and couldn't kick. 254 games and 3 premiership appearances later, Sheedy is one of the legendary names in the game. The former Tiger back pocket took over as coach of Essendon in 1981, and this year sees him lead the Bombers into their 3rd consecutive grand final against the Hawks. At the moment, the score is 1 flag apiece, a score which Kevin Sheedy is looking to improve upon in today's big match. His adversary is Alan Jeames, a man who approaches the game with a decidedly low profile. But he's also a man who has the results on the board. He took St Kilda to their one and only premiership in the heart-stopping grand final of 1966 and has guided Hawthorn into the finals for the last 4 years. Jeames was at the helm when the Hawks recorded a record-breaking win over Essendon 2 years ago, and last year endured the bitter taste of losing a grand final for the 3rd time in his career. Alan Jeames and Kevin Sheedy, the coaches in today's VFL Grand Final.
King's Domain and the Maya Music Bowl. Again, in close proximity to the Melbourne Cricket Ground. And the winner of the Channel 7 sprints being driven around the ground, that is Jeff Atlett. So that means he's won it for the 4th time, and he comes away richer by $1,000 this afternoon. In 2nd place was Michael Cole, got beaten by a lip, and in 3rd place was Russell Richards from Melbourne. So Jeff Atlett, a very profitable afternoon.
I think if he runs professionally, Pete, he certainly won't get the novice mark.
Umpires coming back for the resumption of play. Of course, 100,000 here this afternoon at the Melbourne Cricket Ground. The game, though, started very differently.
Australian rules football has come a long way from the Victorian goldfields of 1853, where the game was first formed. Even as early as 1909, the game had progressed to the stage where official umpires had been introduced to overcome the problems associated with captains making the on-field decisions. A big crowd of 36,000 people witnessed the 1909 Grand Final, which saw South Melbourne overcome Carlton by 2 points to win their very first flag. Payments to players became legal in 1911, and in the following year, umpires were given the power to report players for offences. The result of these moves made for cleaner and faster play, with more enjoyment for spectators and, of course, record crowds. The First World War had a detrimental effect on the game. Attendances dropped by 60%. The competition was scaled down, and the VFL lost many fine players on the battlefields of Europe. After the war, the VFL attracted the crowds back, and Essendon was the glamour side, winning the flag in 1923 and 24. In 1925, 3 new clubs were admitted to the VFL: Footscray, North Melbourne and Hawthorn, bringing the league up to the 12 existing sides. 5 years later, the Depression hit. Thousands of men were out of work. Families were dispossessed. People starved. Football boomed at this time as people tried to escape the grim reality of a dark and gloomy Melbourne. The glamour side of the 30s was South Melbourne, but despite contesting 4 grand finals, they could only manage 1 flag in 1933. By the time the 1940 grand final had arrived, the world was again at war. Young men flocked to enlistment centres, and attendances at VFL games were down by an average of 66,000 a week. There were even thoughts of cancelling the competition in line with the VFA's move. However, the 1940 Grand Final went on, and Melbourne, under strict instructions to keep the ball away from Richmond star Jack Dyer, took their 2nd flag in a row. Everyone wanted to forget the war, and by 1949, Melbourne was back to normal. Essendon took on Carlton that year, and young Essendon star John Coleman kicked his 100th goal in the Grand Final, his first season in league football. The 50s belonged to Melbourne. The Demons ruled supreme, winning the flag in 1955, 56, 57, 59 and 1960. Coached by the legendary Norm Smith and inspired on the field by Ron Barassi, Melbourne could do no wrong. This brought the VFL into the 60s under the gaze of a brand new medium, television. The popularity of the game soared as 7 different clubs took out premierships. The most memorable was that of 1966, which saw St Kilda win their first flag by just 1 point. The VFL's progression continued into the 70s with the completion of VFL Park in 1970. In the grand final of that year, Carlton's Alex Jazelenko took possibly the most famous mark of all time. The grand final of 1977 saw a thrilling finish between Collingwood and North Melbourne, resulting in only the 2nd drawn grand final in football history. The 80s saw the first interstate club established as South Melbourne became the new residents of the Sydney Cricket Ground, changing their name to the Sydney Swans. The rough and tumble game of 125 years ago has given way to spectacular athletic skill that is reaching millions of people throughout Australia and the world.
The scores at half-time in the 1985 Grand Final. The Bombers are 11 goals, 975 to Hawthorn, 9 goals, 357. At this stage, let's go down to our men on the ground, the two Peters.
Thanks very much, Louis. Well, the situation, as Lou just said, 18 points the difference at half-time. Peter McKenna halfway through that quarter, it looked as though Essendon were going to get right on top. Full credit to Hawthorn, though. They fought back well.
They certainly did fight back, but then towards the last couple of minutes of that quarter, Essendon got on top again. And but for some bad kicking, Peter, I think they should be a lot further in front. Paul Salmon holding his marks beautifully down there, and unfortunately for Essendon, his kicking has been off.
Well, both sides have got someone to kick to because Salmon's firing and so is Dermot Brereton at the other end of the ground.
Well, they've needed Dermot firing down at full forward. He's played a magnificent game. He's kicked 5 goals and young Dunstall hasn't been in the players yet. The other forwards haven't done all that much. I was surprised that Ken Judge didn't come on the ground far earlier than what he did because he is capable of kicking goals.
Simon Madden is playing a marvellous game in the ruck for Essendon and also doing some good work around the ground.
I think this is the key to the whole game. I think at the centre bounces, Pete, that Hawthorn have had all sorts of problems. Madden has absolutely dominated. He's taken 8 or 9 marks. I'm not sure the exact amount, but certainly at least 8. And they haven't been able to counter him. They've tried McCarthy and they've tried a couple of other guys in there, Langford, but it hasn't worked. Madden has really taken over.
Okay, in one word, who's going to win the game?
Well, I think you'd have to go for Essendon, but at this stage they're 3 goals down and they're playing well. 3
Right,
goals
Pete.
up, I should say.
Okay, let's return now to Peter Lamb.
Thank you, gentlemen, and the battle to start again in a couple of moments. Essendon led by 9 points at quarter time. They doubled that lead to 18 points at half time. And as we, in fact, said before, they probably could have led by a lot more.
Well, we certainly hope that our friends right throughout the world that are enjoying this direct telecast, we say thank you very much to the boys at OTC.
Sheedy, accompanied by some members of the constabulary, making his way up to the coach's box.
We'd be pretty happy with the situation at this particular stage, but this fellow's done a marvellous job. Bob Brereton down there at full forward, kicking 5 goals out of their total of 9.
Yes, he's been a shining light up there, Lou. In fact, you know, even though he's kicked 5 goals, I think it's time for for Brereton to come out a bit because he's playing so well. I'd be more inclined to put him into the play.
You bring him out to centre half forward after kicking 5 goals?
I would.
Well, that's the comment made by a triple Brownlow medalist, and last week he did suggest that Skilton should, not Skilton, Matthews should come onto the ground, and I'm quite sure Bob would have rushed out if they asked him.
I think Bob would get a few kicks too.
I don't think so.
Umpire Peter Cameron starts proceedings in the second half of the 1985 Grand Final. Essendon leading by 18 points, 11-9 to 9-3. Schwab, the first kick of the second half. Dunstall takes his first mark of the day. Been very quiet, Jason Dunstall, but then again we could say the same about quite a few other Hawthorn players. And his third kick. That is, in fact, he decides to kick it. Dunstall 50 metres out from goal. Ball standing up into the breeze. Plenty of Essendon defenders are there. The ball off the hands of 2 of them, through for 1 behind. And that's the first score of the second half coming up to Hawthorn, reducing the difference to 17 points. Terry Danaher, the Essendon skipper, to bring the ball back.
When you play Brereton at full forward, it's Dunstall who really pays the penalty because he's not quick enough to play out around about the half-forward line.
Good hand pass, comes out to Clark from Williams, up to the centre wing position. Weston gets the hand pass back again. Madden onto Hawker, out of bounds. Essendon's left half-forward flank. Yes, perhaps, as you pointed out, Bob, they could be better served by moving Brereton out and putting Dunstall back in the square, where he played so very well last week, of course, against Footscray in the preliminary final. McCarthy and Merritt. Merritt's been a brilliant player today for Essendon. This is that one. Williams fumbles. It will be a bounce. Still half forward for Essendon. Some hazy sunshine now. We did have a very light shower during the half-time break. It won't have affected the surface at all. Merritt. Down to O'Halloran. Still O'Halloran. Still can't get rid of it. Not too much happening in the first couple of minutes of the third quarter. So again, we'll see a bounce. Still left half forward flank for Essendon. McCarthy and Merritt. Run by Merritt. Thompson fires out the hand pass. It's ineffectual, out of bounds.
Out of bounds about 55, 60 metres around from the Essendon goal. There's 17 points in front. Just on the 2.5-minute mark of the third quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. Knocked out by Merritt. Williams tries to go through the pack. Was he grabbed a bit too high? The umpire said dropping the ball. A little bit harsh on him, I thought.
I agree with you, Luke.
McCarthy out there at half-back for Hawthorn. Boots the ball back to the centre of the ground. The pack fly. Oh, good punch by Walsh. Back over the half-forward line. Overrunning the ball that time was Fowles. Picked up by O'Halloran. Showed a bit of dash. Out wide. Coming in to meet it now is DP. A minute ago he goes down. He was actually tripped that time by Hawker, but it stopped him in his tracks. A quick hand pass to Michael Tuck out there at half-forward. Straightens up, has a long shot at goal. Brett at the break. Can he mark it? He couldn't grab that one. He was put off balance a bit that time by Danaher and through for 1 point. So it's 16 points. 75 plays 59. And we have to give full marks to Hawthorn because they went into this grand final real outsiders, but they've really fought it out. The ball knocked away from Morris. Picked up here now by Baker. Baker goes for a pass. It's a good one and found Merritt there at half-forward. Actually, he's down towards the wing position. Short pass. And a good mark to Fowles. The Essendon forwards moving around. Look, there's coming out the meter, but was Azard. Couldn't get there in time, and a good mark by Russo. Russo back there to Lester Smith. A quick hand pass coming over to Swab. He's in a bit of trouble. A hurried kick back towards the wing position. Duckworth there. Couldn't smother it. He goes after it again. Now Duckworth tries to crash through the pack successfully. A good pass. Now it's a long pass out there to Wood, but there's no one within a mile of him from Hawthorn, so he's got plenty of room to move around. He goes for a long hand pass to Harvey. Harvey with a long kick. Up there looking for Merritt. Merritt's got it, then he fumbles the ball and playing it wisely that time and forced it through as young Russo. So 4 minutes gone, and the difference, what is now still 17 points, the difference.
17 points, not less than 3 goals. Mew, good long kick that one. Almost straight to Madden though, and here's the danger man, Watson. An explosive speed he has, gets on his gas and away it goes. Another goal to Essendon. 12-10-82 to 9-5-59. The Shepherds is put in the fridge at Windy Hill.
What would you try and do with Watson, Lou? Would you attempt to tag him at this stage?
Well, I think he should have been tagged at the beginning because possibly he is the best attacking player in out of both sides, and he's been let run loose all day here.
This is just too dangerous to let run around on his own.
That's right.
2 goals to Watson. He got the earlier one from a free kick. They're playing brilliantly at the moment, 82-59. Now Essendon increasing their lead. Wallace has that kick smothered. It'll be a ball up. Just wide of the centre circle. Just on Hawthorn's attacking side. McCarthy and Madden. Thompson. They've got too many good running players at the moment. Hampton takes the mark at half-back. He's making sure that he's not going to play on and concedes a 15-metre penalty, but he won't worry too much about that.
Well, that's where you give him away down there, Pete, not on the forward like Hawthorn did in the first half of the game.
Yes, that was very poor play. Madden, well, that's just about a mark, that. Not played by the umpire. Dippy and Domenico tried to soccer it off the ground. There's Tudor's Clark. The ball made beat both of them over the boundary line. Pretty close to it now. Clark fires out the hand pass, taking it as Thompson tries to crash his way through. Not successful. The ball paddled further forward by Dunstall. Dippy Domenico again tries some soccer tactics. Not successful. And umpire Peter Cameron comes in and will effect a bounce. Left half forward flank for Hawthorn.
Just over the 6-minute mark of this third quarter. 82 plays 59 in favour of Essendon. It's a ball up out there on that half forward line, about 75 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. Sun is shining pretty brightly at the moment as Walsh grabs that one, shrugs his opponent off, goes for a hand pass over there to Williams. But he hooks the ball. I think he might have been out of bounds when he grabbed that one, so it's still out there towards Hawthorn's half-forward line, but a heck of a distance around from their goals. And there's Alan Jeans. never the happiest looking bloke in the world, but not looking even more glum today.
Well, you can understand that at the moment, Lou, because things are not looking bright for Hawthorn.
Ball picked up by Swab. The ball shot back over the half-forward line. Coming in to meet it as Walsh falls over. Backing up well now as Weston gets the ball back towards the centre of the crowd. There's a race going on here now between Russo and Elshaw. It's Elshaw turning nicely to go for a pass, and Tuck intercepts beautifully there at half-back. A hand pass. Over it goes to Hanley. Hanley's kick is over the half-forward. The back is mad now. Is that run off? Played a sensational game, but that's his 10th mark for the match. Quick hand pass over to Walsh. The ball out wide. Left out there on his own is Nobby Clark. Goes for a long kick over the half-forward. He's gone for a pass and picked up here now by Bowles, about 55 metres out from goal. Salmon making a lead, but that's being ignored.
Well, Bowles looks as though he thinks he might kick this.
Well, he's pretty confident. He's not worrying about anybody making leads to him, so Bowles usually a pretty good kick. There it is. This won't make the distance. Salmon's got a chance to mark it. He's grabbed it. He's played a sensational game down there, and I'll tell you what, now that his leg is, seems to be okay, he's in for a sensational season next year. 6 marks.
Well, that's exactly the way to play it, I think. Clear it out a little bit and then let the player, such as Foles in this case, have a shot at goal. If it doesn't make the distance, if it's a goal, all well and good. If it doesn't make the distance, to have Salmon sitting there is a luxury that everybody else must be very envious of.
Well, he's going for goal number 4. I think he's kicked 4 behind besides this. There's the kick on its way. That's a goal.
Sometimes life gets so crowded with financial problems, we don't have room to move.
Hello, kids. Hello,
That's
dog.
why there's Westpac's all-together banking package. There's high-interest savings, a cheque account free of activity charges, automatic bill payments, and a Westpac MasterCard with a line of credit to help you through the tough times. Even discounts on insurance and personal loans. If you need room to move, get it all together with Westpac, the bank.
27 points the difference now, and only 9 minutes into the third quarter. Essendon looking for their 14th premiership, and they've just about got it, I would think. Morris. Hawker, good smother. Hawker goes through, loses out to Wallace. Wallace a high ball down towards Brereton and Danaher. Socked away by Weston. Brereton still trying his heart out down there for Hawthorn. Kennedy, tackled well by Walsh. Loveridge can't break the tackle. That's not 10 metres, surely it's out of bounds. Will be a boundary throw in. Hawthorn's right forward pocket. Almost next to their behind post, and they badly need a goal here. That's the understatement of the afternoon. Best man on the ground. Number 27 for Essendon, Simon Madden. One palm down to Clark, but he can't get clear. It will be a bounce. About 15 metres out from the Hawthorn goal. The advantage was on for the bookmakers. If, of course, Essendon get up, they were red-hot favourites. 3-1 on. Walsh out to Baker. And a free kick. Umpire has found. It's going to Baker, I think. Or is it going to Walsh? No, I was right the first time. Baker.
Baker's limping too, Pete.
Yes, he got a knock earlier in the game. It doesn't appear to have affected his mobility too much as Harvey cops one. And there will be a 15-metre penalty. Watch it again. Harvey bounces up pretty quickly though to take the kick. Assisted by that 15-metre penalty. O'Halloran takes the mark in front of big Roger Merritt. O'Halloran just up from the back pocket.
Just on the 11-minute mark, 29 points the difference. Out it goes now to Loveridge. He takes that mark down there in the back pocket for Hawthorn. Hawthorn going the long way home this time. Right across the goals and now coming around the members' side. That kick falls a bit short. Kennedy couldn't hold that. Going after this Duckworth. He wanted anybody else getting there. It's still on the boundary line, still in play. And the umpire will ball it up. Out there on Essendon's half-forward line, about 65 metres out.
Loveridge had nobody to kick that one to, Lou. It just shows Hawthorn are just not moving around. They look a dispirited side at the moment.
88 plays 59 in favour of the Bombers. Knocked out by McCarthy. A fumble by Loveridge. Another stack up here, and the umpire will ball it up once again. Well, the crowd's gone a little bit quiet here today because they can sense now that the Bombers are in the box seat to win their second premiership in succession. Pushed down by, I don't know who got that down, but Williams got the ball away, back up there looking for Elshaw. He's got the mark, outmanoeuvred Russo beautifully to take that mark about 40 metres out from goal. Elshaw yet to score a goal. This young fellow will be pretty happy playing with the Bombers too. He found it pretty hard to get a game with Melbourne there a couple of years back.
Well, it's a bit different playing with the bottom side to the top side.
Robbie Flower looked pretty good out there too, wouldn't he?
Waiting now for Elshaw to go for goal number 1. There it is on its way. Didn't come around enough, I don't think. And it's through for 1 point, so it's 30 points the difference in favour of the Bombers.
Merritt off, Van der Haar on.
Into this quarter by 12.5 minutes. A short pass by Hawthorn. It's marked here by McCarthy. Goes for a long hand pass looking for O'Halloran. He's got it there, balked nicely. Another long hand pass to Tuck. Takes a while to pick it up, but he got it over to Hanley okay. He's grabbed. He had to have a hurried kick. And that's why we see Hawker taking the mark out there at half.
Free kick upfield, Lou.
Well, that took it away from Essendon then, so the free kick going out wide to Kennedy, I think it is.
Kennedy, left half forward flank for Hawthorn. Long way from goal, probably 75 metres. Walsh in the centre of the pack has not come down with the ball. It's Van der Haar. He's not going to play it to him either. And it will be a bounce just off the edge of the kick-off line. 13.25 minutes gone. The scoreboard, a sorry sight for Hawthorn supporters, but Essendon very close, I think, to their second successive flag. Brereton, Weston. Hawker can't spin out with the ball, flung to the ground. Out to Van der Haar from the Essendon skipper Danaher. Long kick by Van der Haar up towards the centre wing position. Now Halloran had to sit there and takes the mark. They wanted a surprise inclusion in the Hawthorn side. They played Makanara in the reserves this afternoon. A surprise move perhaps. Harvey went through without the ball. Watson trying to get a hand pass out, couldn't do so, and the umpire has decided again on the bounce. And centre half forward for Hawthorn. They kicked 5 goals in the first quarter, but have got only 9 to this present stage of the match, which is 14 minutes into the third quarter. 13-11 to 9-5. Crowd a little quiet at the moment. Madden hits it straight down to Kennedy. They good smother by Clark, picked up by Thompson, gets his way through the pack, gets offloaded by Lester Smith. Won't worry him at all. Out towards Michael Tuck, leading him forward as Ezard. Late tackle Handley, picked up by Tuck. He's fired out the hand pass to Russell Green, who fumbles. Green close to the boundary line. Gets the kick back towards centre forward. Madden again. Mark number 11. Yes, he's played it. Clark. Essendon doing as they like at the moment, really. Wood marks in front of Judge. And that's, I think, Clark, is it? That's Danaher. Wood's gone for a pass, picked up by Madden. That's mark number 12. The even dozen. If he doesn't get the Norm Smith medal for best and fairest on the ground this afternoon, it'll be tragic. Gary Folds gets a 15-metre penalty, brings him up to the attacking side of centre. Folds, long kick, Salmon. Will be in the back, I think. Yes, it is. Free kick going to Hawthorn, and the recipient, I think, will be Peter Schwab. And Schwab to take the free kick just up from the back pocket. He's decided to go for a hand pass.
15 minutes gone of this third quarter. 30 points the difference in favour of Essendon. The ball out there towards their half-forward on a good, strong mark to Jones. This fella could come to light and kick 3 or 4 quick goals. Bob would bring a lot of life back into the Hawthorn team.
They're not really looking like it once they get down near the goals, Lou.
Ball over towards full forward now. Browden couldn't hold that one. He's got one a bit high, but the umpire set play on as Lester Smith balks. He's grabbed, but he's clear now. Straightens up, fires at the goals. And that's a good kick. It's a goal.
When it comes to your insurance, there's a name you need to know. They're safe and sure, and they care for you more than the SIO.
I've been insured with SIO for years. Not long ago, I had an accident. A bad one. The car was a writer. Boy, was I glad I had an SIO agreed value policy. Instead of just getting market value, which could have been a much lower figure, I got back the full sum insured from SIO with no hassles. So if you have an accident, big or small, it's great to know with SIO, you'll be well looked after.
Victorian Gold, Victoria's only the SIO.
They're okay.
Bouncing back again, Hawthorn. Browden's got a chance to kick his 6th goal. He's only about 45 metres out, if that. Directly in front, he's played a fine game. What's that mark again?
He used his body beautifully there, almost giving Danaher no chance whatsoever.
Putting up an outstanding performance here today, this young fellow, Dermot Brereton, going for goal number 6. They've only kicked 10 so far. There it is on its way. What's the result? A goal. So it's only 18 points the difference now at the 17-minute mark of this third quarter. 13-11-89 Essendon to Hawthorn 11-5-71. And you've got to give Hawthorn credit. They won't throw the sponge in, Bob.
I notice that Brereton has been shifted out, Lou. He did take that mark well out from full forward. Dunstall now at full forward and Brereton at centre-half forward.
Well, you made that suggestion before, and the one you made last week with Matthews certainly paid off. There's Kevin Sheedy on the phone. Centre bounce again, just on the 17.5-minute mark. Knocked out by Matt. It's a long one. Down there to Wezard. He's put off balance. Hanley trying to get through the pack. He's crashed to the ground. It'll be a free kick for holding the man. So those last 2 goals could give Hawthorn a bit of encouragement. They're not out of it yet. 15-metre penalty. This brings him up to the centre of the ground. It's a long kick over their half-forward line. Punched away into the hands of Tucky as they go up towards the goals. Punched away again by Weston. Coming into metre now is Timmy Watson. He shows a lot of pace. He goes after it again. 2 Hawthorn players crashed. And look at the Essendon champ go around the boundary line with a beautiful hand pass. Out there to Welshaw. A long kick down there looking for little Essard. He's got the mark. And the Bombers are bouncing back. Is he off?
Yes.
Umpire call. Play on as it comes back now to Morris. Morris runs into a bit of trouble. He's lost it. Picked up by Thompson, showing a lot of aggression there. Goes for a beautiful pass to find Baker in perfect position, about 40 metres out from goal.
Talking about off. Madden off. Merritt on.
Oh, can we joke?
Waiting now for the ball to come back into play. Or having shot, I should say. Baker going for goal. Number 1. Oh, he's got it again, Sam. And too big.
Front man.
Is he paying the front man?
Front man.
Oh, that might have been a doubtful one. Essendon crowd not too happy about it, but there's a good pass to Michael Tuck at centre-half back. 18 points the difference. Out to DP Domenico on his own. He's away from Wood. He kicks it long over the half-forward line. Coming in as Dunstall, knocked away by Hawker. He's grabbed, but gets... Oh, he's grabbed again, but he gets clear. Hooks the ball back, looking there for Duckworth. It bounces okay out there on half-back. He's got plenty of time to have a bounce and go for a pass to Timmy Watson. Watson with a short pass, looking there for Thompson, quickly plays on, boots the ball up there towards the big fella Salmon again, couldn't hold that one. Mew had him well covered. Mew goes down, but he smothers the ball well. He's got time to get up and go for a short pass. Good play on the part of Mew.
Langford takes the pass. He's gone for one himself up towards the centre wing position. Green, or just about a throw. On to Lester Smith, back to Schwab, opposition from Baker, short ball, down to half-forward, too long for Matthews, chance for Judge, fumbles, ball doesn't bounce kindly for him, Hawker's right there with him, Matthews gets offloaded by Duckworth, they get out of the road there with those two. Free kick against Matthews for holding the ball, much to the delight of the Essendon fans. Watch it again.
Play on for mine.
Me too. Here's Lee Matthews though, Bob. Knocked away by O'Halloran from Van der Haar. Baker, got one in the back. No free kick for that. Lester Smith can't get clear. That's holding the ball. So Van der Haar to take the free kick for Essendon. He's at left half-back flank. In front of the capacity MCG crowd this afternoon. 20 3/4 minutes into the third quarter. The Flying Dutchman's kick dropping a little bit short. It's onto the centre wing position. Merritt down to Harvey. Spins out, then loses it. That's a throw. Morris. Wallace. Oh, Brereton. What a mark.
Magnificent mark.
He certainly has been Hawthorn's best player. Gets it out to Matthews. Matthews has gone for a short pass. An absolute shocker. And Bomber Thompson takes the easiest of marks he'll get all day. Thompson, assisted by a 15-metre penalty, brings the ball back in towards the centre square. Marked by Tuck. He lifted his game and he would have needed to. Long kick by Tuck into the goal square. Good defence by Clark. Kennedy, no one to give it to. Matthews calling for it. Kennedy trying to do too much. And it will be a bounce about 15 metres out from goal.
was a bit stiff there. He got the staggers, didn't he?
I don't think he could get himself balanced enough to get a hand pass in, and if he had tried to hand pass, he probably would have thrown it.
18 points the difference, and that's what it was at half-time. After Essendon got a break early in this quarter, 11-5 to 13-11. Merritt, free kick for a hip out, and it's going to Clark. On to Baker, on to Thompson, on to Harvey. Harvey from left half-back flank, clear of all opponents, goes long, down towards the left half-forward flank, trying to find Van der Haar, and does so. Good mark by Van der Haar, taken in front of O'Halloran. So Van der Haar with a chance to put Essendon deep into attack now, and he's got a 15-metre penalty.
Just on 22 and a half minutes gone, 18 points the difference. As Van der Haar looks for Salmon, comes out, jumps, he's got it. Certainly making it very hard for Chris Mew with passes like that. He'd be about 45 metres out on a very slight angle. There it is again. There's the champ. And, of course, Simon Madden's having a rest on the bench to come on fresh in that last quarter, I should imagine. He's already kicked 4 goals, the big fella, number 3. There it is on its way. Didn't make the distance. It hits the deck now. Going after it is Ezard. Goes for a pass. It's a good one. He's found Elshaw. No, he called play and it might have been touched.
Looked a mark, didn't it?
Well, it looked a mark, but the umpire was very definite about that decision. Didn't even hesitate. So it might have been touched. I don't know what the result was there, but it looked a mark to us up here. Ball kicked back into play again. There's a chance now for Thompson to grab this one. Taps it on. Straightens up. Fires at the goals. And he's put it through to put him 24 points in front. That's his first goal. So it's 14-11-95 Essendon to Hawthorn. 11-5-71.
Mark Thompson playing an excellent game for the Bombers. He's covering a lot of territory, giving a free rein of the ground, and no matter where he goes, he's winning the ball, and his disposal, whether by foot or by hand, has been excellent.
Thompson's first goal. 24 points the difference, and that's the biggest margin so far today. Centre square infringement, the free kick going Essendon's way, breaking clear, big Merritt, long kick, looking for Salmon again. Where is he? There he is, can't take the grab. Mew comes down with the ball, tackled by Elshaw. It's a free kick, says umpire Robinson, going the way of Hawthorn for a high tackle, and it will go to Chris Mew when he can find his leg. Mew just up from the full-back line. Wobbly punt kick to centre wing, in front Walsh. Shark by Lester Smith. Down to right half forward flank. Matthews playing behind Clark. Sockers it off the ground. Down goes Dipia Domenico. Dunstall, great hand pass to Judge. Fine tackle, Nobby Clark. Judge second chance. The umpire.
It's a free kick against him for dropping the ball, I think.
He has played it that way, Luke.
Judge can't believe it. And neither can the Hawthorn fans, but the umpire had blown the whistle. Clark. Danaher. And Essendon really looking the goods at the moment. Danaher from right half-back flank. Out to Merritt. Hawthorn haven't got enough runners. Harvey. Harvey a long way from goal. Couldn't score from there. Decides to go subsequently for a short pass. Schwab and Williams tangle. Van der Haar. Spent some time on the bench. He'll be fairly fresh. He's gone for a pass. Little Ezard almost took the mark. Loveridge sockers it off the ground. Out of bounds on the full. And when you're hot, you're hot. And when you're not, you're not. And Hawthorn doing nothing right at the moment.
Well, there's not much else he could have done there, Bob. He had to go for the kick off the ground. It was a bit unfortunate. He connected too well. There's a chance now for Duckworth to put the ball right into the goal square. Players set themselves, and that's a good mark to Chris Mew. Salmon going a bit mad there. He said, I was sticking out there on my own. You forgot all about me. 15-metre penalty. Mew decides to go for a bit of a bounce, then a hand pass to Wallace. He gets a hurried kick back out there, coming in at, strong mark that time to Walsh. Quickly plays on.
Should have been a free kick to Barrett.
There's a chance for the big front. No, it's Baker who's got it. Salmon was there too, but Baker's got it well in front. He's only about 25 metres out, if that.
Well, I do not know how umpire Cameron missed that one.
26, just on 26 and a half minutes gone of this third quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. Essendon already 24 points in front. And this will give them a lead of 5 goals if Baker, number 4, is successful for Essendon. There's the kick. And that's a goal. So it's Essendon starting to look good once again. 15-11, 101 to Hawthorn, 11-5, 71.
Essendon players. Now there's the free kick to Brereton, and Walsh came over the top, but there was no doubt that it should have been a free kick to Dermot Brereton. But nonetheless, on the scoreboard, it's a goal to Leon Baker. Like somebody might have decided that they've like a ball. So with a 30-point margin, Hawthorn, well, they did manage to get within 18 points, Lou, but they then just haven't been able to get any closer than that.
Certainly right, Bob, and that's the beauty of this Essendon side. They can always bounce back, can't they?
30 points the difference, 27.5 minutes gone. Third quarter. Merritt. Loveridge tackled by Merritt. Kick is a high one. It won't or can't be a mark. Didn't travel the required 10 metres. Knocked back by Brian Wood. Picked up by Schwab. He turns into trouble instead of out of it. Thompson again. Fresh air shot. Essendon free kick.
We see Thompson about to take the free kick. We talk about the adaptability of the Essendon bigger players. You look at a player like Thompson, who's a superb back pocket player, and look at the job he's doing on the ball.
That's right. Yes, well, of course, Wayne Harms was a bit like that, wasn't he, Bob? He could play back pocket, centre. Not a good kick from Thompson, nonetheless. Knocked out of bounds by Gary Foulds, and it will be a boundary throw in left half forward flank for the Bombers at the 28-minute mark of the third quarter. 5 goals they lead by, so they're not too far away from their second successive flag. Van der Haar and Tuck. One by Tuck. Kept in play by Lester Smith. Baker. Duckworth. Collared by Matthews. Didn't want to argue with either of those. Gary Foulds has the mark. In front is O'Halloran. At the back is Salmon. Watson. Handling. It was a throw, I think, says the umpire. Loveridge. Hawthorn still trying, but they're a long way down the gurgler at the moment. Short pass by the Hawthorn rover. It is marked by Ken Judge at centre field. Judge also going for a short pass. He's got Russell Green out there, but there's the siren for three-quarter time. Good quarter by Essendon, and the Bombers 1 quarter away from their second successive flag. The scoreboard at three-quarter time in the 85 Grand Final, 15-11, 101 to 11-5, 71.
No, it can't be true. Oh, it could be. In fact, yes, no doubt about it. $1,000 in crisp new notes. And that's what you'll find waiting for you in the glove box of every new Nissan for between now and September 28th. $1,000 cash in hand on any of these fabulous new Nissan cars and commercials. It's the Nissan Grand Final giveaway. Happening now at your participating Nissan dealer.
Come alive, come and drive Nissan.
G'day. Just because I'm in the bush doesn't mean I go without good tucker. Come and have a look how I cook at home with my Weber barbecue. The Weber is just like an oven, only better. Being round, the Weber's unique airflow system means that the heat completely surrounds the food, sealing in all the natural juices and flavour. Now, you can't burn the food, and there's no flare-up because the fat drops into this tray. Ingenious. Just put the food in, pop the lid on, forget about it. You don't even have to turn the food over. And while she's cooking, you can do whatever you like. Now for the proof of the pudding. Oh. Ain't that something? Magnificent. And it's fat-free. With a Weber, you can barbecue anything, from chops and snags to delicious roasts. But make sure it's a genuine Weber. The only barbecue with this one-touch system to sweep out all the ashes. Do yourself a favour. Get a Weber. It's the best way to barbecue anything.
It's goodbye, wife, hello, new life. Tomorrow night, Burt Reynolds is starting over. He's rediscovering romance, rediscovering himself, and rediscovering his wife. After 7 years of marriage, it's now the single life. A whole new world with a whole new set of rules. And he's breaking them all, one by one. For the first hilarious time on television, a very different love triangle, starring Burt Reynolds, Jill Clayburgh, and Candice Bergen. Tomorrow at 8:30, they're all starting over on 7. Significant Melbourne landmark, the Shrine of Remembrance.
too far away again from the Melbourne Cricket Ground, where the battle is being fought today between the Bombers and the Hawks, and it's being won at the moment by Essendon. They kicked a further 4 goals in that quarter to Hawthorn's 2, and they hold a very handy lead of 30 points even going into the final term, 101 to 71. The major goal kickers for Essendon: Salmon has 4, Merritt has 3, and 2 each to Watson and Harvey. For Hawthorn, Brereton has 6.
Today's match is part of the 1985 Nissan VFL Premiership season.
It would need a major reversal of form for Hawthorn to get up. Bob Skilton, can you see it happening?
I certainly cannot, Pete. When you consider that you're able to take Simon Madden off the field and give him a rest, I think you know, anyone else must look at it and say, if only we were in a position to be able to do that. On the highlights, we just saw Timmy Watson, and what a destructive player to the opposition he is, and that's Madden at his best. He's taken mark after mark. He's dominated the ruck work, and when they get the ball down, we see Salmon in fine form, and Dermot Brereton. A couple of occasions on that in that quarter, I thought that Brereton should have received free kicks. One in particular on the centre wing meant that the opposition finished up with a goal to Baker, and I'm amazed that umpire Cameron did miss that one completely. But we watch now as Watson, a superb piece of football. This one took the ball away from defence, a long hand pass to Elshaw, and Essendon off and running. I do notice that Tuck has been going everywhere that Watson has in the latter stages of that quarter. And here's another of the Essendon stars, Mark Thompson, normally a back pocket player, but playing on the ball in this second half, and has been a superb player in that quarter. And that was the one I was talking about. There was no doubt that was a free kick, as it finishes with Baker and a goal. Lee Matthews, they're watching intently as Alan Jeans has his words, and we're about to watch, I would imagine, Lou, the last quarter of football by Lee Matthews.
If he starts, well, playing it, Bob, he might be on the bench.
I think he'll be out there, Pete. I think the one chance that Hawthorn would have would be that those players like Tuck, O'Halloran, Matthews really do something, and, well, I don't think they would do it from the bench.
OK, 30 points the difference at 3/4 time. Now let's go down now to Peter Donegan and Peter McKenna for further comment on the boundary line.
Right, Pete, well, as you come down, light rain starting to fall here at 3/4 time. Peter McKenna, an interesting tactic employed there by Kevin Sheedy. Simon Madden looked to be best on the ground, then finished up on the bench.
I think that they had that plan well and truly before the game, Pete, that they're going to give him a rest at the 15-minute mark. They've got tall timber. They took Roger Merritt off. They brought Van der Haar back on. It's obviously a planned tactic by Kevin Sheedy. He does it regularly.
Flashes of brilliance from Timmy Watson again in that quarter.
Oh, he took that ball from the back pocket there around there. That was magnificent play at a vital time in the quarter. But Essendon generally, Pete, just a little bit too quick and far too good in the air. Their big men are taken over.
If you were looking after Hawthorn, what moves would you make to try and make them come back?
Well, it's very, very difficult. They moved Brereton out to centre half forward, but they really haven't got the big man power. They brought Lee onto the ground in that third quarter, but that hasn't really worked either. I just think they're undermanned. They've got a lot of players down at the moment, and in fact, they did some strange moves right from the start, I thought, and but still, I think they'll be battling from here on in.
So, in other words, Peter McKenna says back-to-back premierships for the Bombers.
I think Essendon are certainties from here, but Hawthorn, they're a gutsy side. They'll fight it right out to the finish.
OK, well, Peter McKenna of the opinion that the Bombers will be too good. We're about to find out with the last quarter of the VFL Grand Final as we return once again to Peter Lamb.
Thank you, gentlemen. We check the stats to 3/4 time, and Essendon having a margin of 41 kicks over Hawthorn. The marks, 36 to 68, so to all intents and purposes doubled. We're not really surprised at that, with Salmon and Madden starring with Merritt. The free kicks 30 to 28, 2 in favour of Essendon. The handballs 53 to 63 in favour of Hawthorn. The hit-outs 41 to 19, double again, or in fact more so, and the shots at goal 27 to 17 again in favour of Essendon. So on the statistics and on the scoreboard, Essendon well on top as we prepare for the final quarter of the 1985 season. Alan Jeans, the Hawthorn coach, making his way back to the coach's box with Brian Coleman, his assistant. And the Hawks certainly have the job in front of them if they're to take out the flag this afternoon. They're not being helped by the weather because it is starting to rain now, and that will certainly help the Bombers.
Yes, Hawthorn are paranoid about the rain coming down. This is Kevin Sheedy, Essendon's excellent coach. and they'd be quite happy with the situation at this stage of the game. Well, he should be. Essendon, they really look good so far.
The umbrellas go up. The ball goes up. That signals the start of the final quarter for 1985 in the VFL Grand Final. Essendon leading by 30 points, 101 to 71. Knocked down by Madden, predictably back on the field. Wood gets tackled by Tuck. Loose ball on the wing. DP Domenico tries to grab it and then scoop it out. Tuck goes for a long hand pass. Intercepting for Essendon is Baker. Baker's kick is down to the right half forward flank. Almost a mark. Not paid. Recovering quickly. Big Roger Merritt. Puts the ball high. Ezard in front. Becoming pretty slippery. Would have taken that one earlier. Williams. Shot at goal is off target. Or Salmon has taken the mark, but it will be allowed.
They gave him a nice little march. It was just enough to move him, Bob.
Yes, I thought that it would have been paid, Lou. Was
8 marks.
He's a dangerous player, though.
This will be his 5th goal and make the difference 36 points, and under these conditions that will be a match-winning lead. He was off target a lot earlier, Paul Salmon. Again taking plenty of time, as is the norm for him, but he would have to fall over to miss it. Only 10 metres out, directly in front of goal. For goal number 5, he's put it through. And that goal came up at the minute and a quarter mark of the final term. 36 points in favour of Essendon, close to their 14th premiership. 16-11, 107 to 11-5, 71. Salmon has 5 for Essendon, Merritt 3, 2 to Watson and 2 to Harvey. Here's the mark in replay.
Yes, Alan Jeans really must be wondering just what can he do. And there isn't anybody that he could possibly put down there and bring Mew out to centre half back. Chris Mew, you can see the height disadvantage that Mew has there as quite heavy rain is starting to come down now. And as you said, Pete, this will assist Essendon even further.
A new ball being brought out. 36 points the difference. 107 to 71 now in favour of Essendon. Madden will contest the centre bounce. Hawthorn opponent is Mike McCarthy. It's won by Madden, picked up by Baker again, and Essendon swing into attack.
And smothered well that time by Merritt. Scoops it between his legs, kicked off the ground by Mew out wide towards the wing position. Coming in to meet it now is Elshaw. He gets clear of his opponents, goes for a hand pass. And there's a chance for Thompson, who's played a fine game here today. And the ball kicked up there towards the centre half forward position. Salmon flies, taps the ball on intelligently that time as it goes to the ground again. Swab tries to get clear, gets the ball back out there to Hanley. A hurried kick back over the half-back line for Hawthorn. At the back is, there's nearly a mark that time too, Thompson. He goes down. A fumble that time by Wallace. Another stack up here, and the umpire will ball it up. I think Thompson might have hurt himself coming down. Played a great game today, Thompson, Bob.
He certainly has, Lou.
Ball up on that half-forward line for Essendon, a good distance out from their goal. Knocked back to Merritt by Madden. Merritt goes down. Did he get one at the back? The umpire said no. Over to Loveridge. His kick is smothered, and it's out of bounds on the full. It'll be a penalty free kick out there to Timmy Watson. We saw Tim do that marvellous dash around the boundary line in that 3rd quarter. Well, it wasn't a good kick, but it might be okay. He's gone for a hand pass. Merritt's a bad one, but knocked away by Morris, who goes to the ground to get a free kick. It'll be against Wood. Copped him too high in the head, the umpire indicating. And he'll take that free kick out there at half-back. We're approaching the 4-minute mark of the 1985 Grand Final last quarter. Ball punched out by the... there's a free kick, he's found it. The umpire will go to Essendon's Danaher, I think it might be. Or is it going to go... Yes, it'll be Danaher to take the free kick at half-back. Not a player down there on Hawthorn's forward area at all, Bob. It's just wide open spaces. And there's a great mark to Roger Merritt.
Looking by far the better side at the moment. The reason there wasn't a player down there was we even see players like Weston running up the ground to make position, and then of course Dunstall has to go with him.
Well, there's not a player over from the centre half forward position, or the half forward line down for the Hawthorn side. Flying high was Vanderhaar, couldn't hold the mark. It's kicked out towards Green. He taps it over to Matthews, who fumbles. Hurries and gets a kick back towards the wing position. Brown at the back, flew high, but a little bit late on the scene. Morris tries to smother it. He loses the ball. This allows Duckworth to come in and go for a long kick over the Bombers' half-forward line. Vanderhaar couldn't hold the mark. Ezard spins out of the pack. He's picked up now by Russo. That's another hurried kick, and Wallace couldn't mark that. It's pretty slippery there with this rain coming down. And a bad kick that time by Wood, but don't blame him for that. It is a slippery ball.
Lou, with Ayres on the bench for as long as he has been, do you think he might be injured, or that Alan Jeans doesn't think he's capable of handling any of the Essendon forwards?
I don't know. I thought he wasn't playing that badly when he was taken off the ground.
I'm inclined to think he must be injured.
He certainly hasn't made a reappearance anyway since early in the match. Clark sockers the ball away for Essendon. Comes into the arms of Baker. Baker steadies from 35 metres out, and he's off target and only 1 point. 16-12, 108 to 11-5, 71-37 points the difference now. So Hawthorn needs 7 goals. Ayres is his back on now. Mew. Well, he should be pretty fresh. Deep to Medico. Kennedy. Brereton, Hawthorn's only forward in the match, really. He has 6 goals. It's been a lone hand. I don't think he's missed one so far. Brereton from 45 to 50 metres out. I took the Jonah in that time because that one is through for 1 behind. 6 minutes into the final quarter, 16-12 to 11-6.
Peter, I think that, 7 goals is the record. There's many players that hold that record for a grand final match.
Yes, many of them, and I think Lee Matthews is one of them, isn't he, Lou?
I think Des Tutton might be amongst them. I'm not quite sure, but it'd be great to see Brereton get a goal here now to equal the record with those great players. Of course, it wouldn't be bad for Salmon either. He's kicked 5 up to the stage of the match.
Alex Jesseleko might be another, but anyway, we pulling those off the top of our head. We need the record books for that. Out of bounds, right half forward flank now for Hawthorn. It will be a boundary throw-in. 6 3/4 minutes into the final term. Kennedy to contest the throw-in with Simon Madden. Hadn't got a hand to it, but it wasn't an accurate tap out. Picked up by Clark. Clark tickers out of bounds on the full, and that will result in a free kick to Hawthorn, taken at their right half forward flank. Rob Lester Smith is the man with the ball, or he will be when it comes back from the crowd.
Getting a little chilly at the Melbourne Cricket Ground, and we've had sunshine for most of the days. We look at Alan Jean, he'd be a bit chilly and a little bit sad now because he can see this game slipping away from his side.
Lester Smith goes for a short pass, trying to find Dunstall, knocked away by Weston. Elshaw. Back to Folds. Hanley gives away the free kick. Will be taken by little Ezard. Ezard on left centre wing. Play on court, he does. Come towards half forward. In front is Langford. At the back is Merritt. Great mark.
Oh, golly, he copped one going by that time.
Copped one from Gary Ayres, I think it was.
15-metre penalty.
Did you mention that, was there?
I don't think so, but still, I think he was going for the 15-metre penalty, Pete.
He got it, and Hawthorn have given away a lot of 15-metre penalties on the forward line.
Well, particularly in the first half of the match, when they were really firing.
That's right, and Merritt did actually get a goal, one of his 3 from one of those 15-metre penalties. He's directly in front of goal, 35 metres out. Essendon already having more than a handy lead. He hasn't missed that one. That will seal it well and truly for the 85 flag, and the Essendon players know that.
Wait, that's only half of national spreads around the house. Oh, well, I'll show you the rest another time.
9 minutes into the last quarter of the 1985 Grand Final, and the Bombers are really looking good now as we see Harvey go for the long kick down there to Salmon. Smothers the kick, picked up by Hanley. A hand pass to O'Halloran, a little bit slow getting rid of that one. He gets a hurried kick out there. No one can grab it. Coming in to meet it now is Russo. Taps the ball back to Hanley. Fumbles. He's grabbed it. Quickly hold the ball. Now the umpire let it play on. He might have been a bit lucky as we see the ball come back from Williams over to Elshaw. It was a hand pass coming out now to Ezard. Ezard in front of goal. This could be dangerous. Now he's off target and it's through for 1 point.
were talking about 7 goal kickers or players that have kicked 7 goals in the grand final. Norm Smith, Harris of Richmond, Reynolds of Essendon, Gordon Knight of Essendon, Jack Collins Footscray, Fordham of Essendon, Jesselenko of Carlton and Bartlett of Richmond.
Waiting now for Wallace to send the ball out towards the wing position. Matthews in the front posse takes the mark out there at the half-goal wing position. Matthews playing his last game today. Gives the ball over to Russell Green. It's a long kick up there towards the full forward position. It might be a goal. No, it bounced the wrong way. It bounced Essendon's way and falls through for 1 point by Danaher.
On replay now, we watch as Danaher not even trying to take possession, just thumps it through. And at this stage of the game, there's no need to take any risks.
42 points the difference. The ball comes back into play again. Out wide, coming in to meet it now is Madden, who played a sensational first half.
Official attendance, 100,042, Lou.
Well, that's fair enough. Who said football was dying? When you get 100,000 people to see a grand final, it's still as popular as ever. As the short pass from Vanderheer goes over there to Harvey, and he grabs the ball at the centre half forward position. They've had many good players today, but none better than Madden when they really needed him. We've had Merritt playing well, and not forgetting Salmon down there. And Little Thompson's been putting in all day too. There's the kick into the goal square. And a good safe mark taken here by O'Halloran. Down there at the full-back position. 17-13, 150. Oh, what a shocker. This allowed Essendon with a chance here now. The umpire to ball it up right on the kickoff mark. That's unforgivable by O'Halloran. He's a little bit ashamed too, I should imagine.
So I think David would need telling, Luke.
We'll have to send a message out to tell him he's done the wrong thing. Knocked out by Salmon, picked up by Williams, but the kick is off target and out of bounds. So we'll have a throw in right against the point post. Deep in the Essendon attacking zone. Thompson coming off the ground. He's been one of their best players today. There's no doubt about that. The ball knocked on that time by Merritt. And once again, it's over the line and out of bounds. But still pretty close to the Essendon goals.
Carey, the player that come on, Pete.
Yes, Carey being given a run by Coach Kevin Sheedy. Just to let him be part of the celebrations coming up shortly. 115-73. Tuck. Can't get clear. Out to Wallace. Offloaded by Harvey. Good hip and shoulder bump. Hand pass comes out to Welshaw now from Duckworth. In towards the 10-metre square. Salmon and Mew. No mark to either player. Baker, left foot snapshot, that'll be close. He's dobbed it, I think. That's a goal. Great play. Baker putting through his second goal for Essendon on the scoreboard. 18-13, 121 to 11-7, 73. It's a runaway victory.
There's just absolutely nothing you can think of, I don't think, Lou, that Alan Jeans could possibly do at this stage. Essendon swinging their players around, Baker covering a lot of territory well down the ground from the centre, and Kevin Sheedy would be delighted with the way his team are going about it.
13 minutes gone in the final quarter, 18-13 to 11-7. That's 7 goals, 6 in favour of Essendon. Knocked away by Madden. DP to Medico, kicks it pretty well off the ground. Danaher fumbles, but it won't matter because he makes amends very quickly and goes for a short pass out to the centre wing position where it's marked by Baker. Baker's gone for the long shot. He got decked after he kicked the ball. I don't know whether there's going to be a free downfield. No, there isn't. Matthews gets it out of the pack. Bounce, favours Harvey. Just about caught. In fact, he is caught and offloaded. Tried to do too much with it, Harvey. And Hawthorn gained possession. It's taken away by John Kennedy at left centre wing. He's gone for a short pass. Marked by Ken Judge. Judge onto Loveridge. Gets around Glenn Hawker. Wallace does some shepherding. Loveridge fumbles. Now he finally goes for a pass. It's marked by Dippy to Medico. Tipper decides to have a shot at goal, and he's put it through for 4 points.
Born to run, closer, Mazda, the spirit one, driving closer, best under the sun.
The remarkable, fully imported Mazda 323, the one that started it all.
Just on the 14.5-minute mark of this last quarter, 42 points the difference in favour of Essendon. Ball is picked up by Loveridge again, out towards that half-forward line. Judge overruns the ball. This gives Hawker a bit of a break, but he can't pick it up. He's hanging on to Judge, and the umpire spotted that. Judge quickly plays on, goes for a short pass. Wallace couldn't hold that, he was interfered with. Elshaw actually fumbled it too. So does Walsh, but it's pretty slippery out there as the ball comes back to the centre of the ground and marked here by McCarthy for Hawthorn. Sees a lead. It'll be okay. Russo quickly plays on. I think the umpire called play on then. And there'll be a ball up down towards Hawthorn centre-half forward position. I'd say that, but I think he might have called play on.
I think it was more a case of Russo playing on because he did have the player there, but once again, poorly executed.
Still 42 points the difference, just over the 15-minute mark. Ball knocked out by Madden, picked up by Williams. Back towards Essendon's half-forward line. Merritt coming out now, having a great battle here with Morris. Morris gets the front posse, going after it now with him as Ezard. He smothers the ball. Hanley taps it on into the hands of Van der Haar. A long hand pass over to Harvey. This could be a goal. The little fella straightens up and fires. It's a goal for the Bombers again. You can put the premiership flag in the bag now. 19-13, 127 Essendon to Hawthorn, 12-7, 79.
On replay now, there's a beautiful hand pass from Paul Van der Haar. He intercepted. We watch on replay now. A long left-hand pass, and Mark Harvey finishing it off after Paul Van der Haar's excellent play.
16 minutes gone in the final quarter, 127-79 in favour of the Bombers. 19-13 plays 12-7.
48 points the difference. Madden against McCarthy. Knocked out by Madden, picked up by Russo. It's a high kick, but doesn't cover much distance. Oh, outmanoeuvring Danaher that time was Brewer. He's been their best player by far. They haven't had many today. Up there towards Matthews. He gave Carey one to go on with there. Dunstall couldn't pick the ball up. He's pushed out the way very easily. Walsh can't pick it up. The ball's out there on that half-forward line for Hawthorn. Still going after now as the ball is pushed on by Carey. Over to Kennedy. Back to Russo again for Hawthorn. And the ball is over their half-forward line. A chance for Matthews to take the mark, and he does. Crowd giving him plenty of curry there, but that's a bit unfortunate. It's a bad pass by Matthews. Been a great player over the years, and I hate to see people hooting a champion like that. Right across goals. It's safe. It's usually dangerous. Madden takes the mark. Back to Hawker. Hawker shoots the ball out there to Harvey on his own. He got the heavy bump from Morris. And he's got the ball out there on the centre wing position. And they're doing it pretty easily as he goes for a pass. A good one. He finds Roger Merritt. Michael Tuck a little bit late on the scene. There could be 15 metres penalty against him here if he's not careful. So Merritt about 70 metres out from goal at the 17.5-minute mark. And the Bombers are still 48 points in front. He's been a fine player today too, Bob.
Oh, great player, Roger Merritt.
Short pass. And a good mark to Timmy Watts. Another short pass. I don't know where to go, Hawthorn.
Play on.
He called play on as he gets a quick hand pass back to Morris. I know he's bringing it back. It's got to be a mark, I should imagine. It's going to be holding the ball against
Yes,
him.
it was. He played holding the ball. Harvey again. Brereton let one go. Umpire racing in with the book.
He'll be recorded.
Not much doubt about that. Essendon fans love it. Brereton doesn't love it. Well, about Dermody get last word with an echo.
On replay now we come in.
Well,
didn't look as bad on the replay.
No, did it? Not from that angle anyway. Looked worse from that angle.
What else could he do? He had to try and stop or knock the ball away. No, I wouldn't have reported him for that one.
Anyway, it means that the season isn't finished for the umpires and those two players because they'll be fronting the tribunal on Monday night. 15-metre penalty subsequent to that, taken by Harvey. Harvey's kick up towards trying to find Van der Haar. Chance for Billy Duckworth to score a goal, and he does. And Billy's pretty happy about it. Even if his truck is double parked out the back at the moment. 2013, 133 to 12-7, 79, and the picture tells the story.
So I don't think it needs any comment at all. As we watch the replay, Duckworth at the back of the pack, now snapping truly, and the umpire really being throttled by young Handley, but the ball through for full points.
Well, a thoroughly deserved premiership win to Essendon. They've completely outplayed Hawthorn this afternoon. They've outscored them in every quarter, and Hawthorn looking a pretty dispirited combination at the moment. 133 to 79. It will be the Bombers' second successive flag.
If you look at the actual scoring shots, Pete, 33 to 19.
Still think Hawthorn lost this, well, initially anyway at the selection table. I didn't like their side from the start. Picked up by Williams. Knocked away by Ayres. Steve Carey on the ground now, does some useful shepherding to keep Handley at bay. It's picked up by Baker. Baker's gone for a short pass to Billy Duckworth, who of course won the medal for the best and fairest in the grand final last year. I don't think he'll win it this year. The honour, I would think, will go to his teammate Simon Matt. Big pack of players down there. It rebounds to Watson. He has a ping at the goals and has put it through for another one. It's academic, of course, because it will be...
These powerful new Hoover suction cleaners make light work of even the heaviest housework. Smashing. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest.
It looks as though it could even be what we term a runaway win, because Hawthorn just unable to contain Essendon in any part of the field at the moment.
Centre bounce again, just over the 20-minute mark of this last quarter. 60 points the difference as Madden gets another knockout. He's been a fantastic player today. Picked up by Russo, a fumble by Matthews. He's grabbed, still gets a kick back over the half-forward line. Coming in to meet it now is Brereton. Spins through the pack. He nearly copped one from Madden. Gets a hand pass back to Matthews. Pushed away by Duckworth. Back it goes to McCarthy. Soon grabbed. Over it, scooped off. Was that a throw by Baker? Over to Danaher. Back it goes now to Weston. They're looking marvellous at the moment. Essendon over to Vanderhaar. He balks. He's looking for Salmon. Salmon at the back. Got the sit on Mute flies, but Mute covered him well. Picked up now by Merritt. Short pass. It'll be okay. And marked by West. The chance for another goal. But he's off target and through for 1 point. Tell you what, Bob, with the back pocket players start kicking goal, that's insult to injury, isn't it? Particularly that shot of Duckworth's.
Well, when Weston was lining that one up then, that was exactly what I thought. First Duckworth, now Weston.
Oh, golly. Tuck with a short pass. Intercepted by Elshaw, but still grabbed that time by Wallace. He's had a very difficult day today, but he's had a great season. Ball back out towards the wing position. Punched away by Danaher. Picked up by DP Domenico. The ball back over the half-forward line. Coming in to meet it is Gary. Gary playing in his first grand final as he kicks the ball back, and a mark taken here by Baker, who's played a very handy game today. There's Fowles spreading the pack as he gets away from Lester Smith. A hand pass back to Duckworth again. Back it goes to Fowles. Fowles out there at a half-forward. Kicks it high. Little Williams comes and he's got the mark. Well, they actually let him go for that one. Hawthorn stood there virtually. It was an easy margin finally. So he's got it out there at half-forward, about 50 metres out from goal. There's a lead, and Merritt's grabbed it well within kicking distance, only about 35 metres out from goal.
Merritt will give Simon Madden a shake for the medal.
My word, he will. He's had 9 marks for the day and kicked 4 goals. Been a fine player. And in my opinion, Bob, the most valuable big player in football.
So I couldn't argue with that one, Luke.
Let's see whether they can get goal number 5. Yes, he'd be pretty close to the best player on the ground. There's a couple of them got a big chance here today for the medal, for the Norm Smith medal. Merritt taking his time. Lets it go. And that is a goal. It's goal number 5. So it's 22 goals, 146 Essendon to Hawthorn. 12 goals, 779.
Well, the record in the grand final is held by Hawthorn at 83 when they annihilated Essendon by 83 points. I'm just wondering if the Bombers have got time, Bob, to perhaps win by over 83 points.
Well, I think there's probably another 7 or 8 minutes at least, Pete, and the way they're going at the moment, that could mean another 3, 4, who knows.
23 and 3/4 minutes gone. 146 plays 79. Very dispirited Hawthorn combination out there. They don't throw in the towel, but they look pretty ordinary at the moment. Morris. Down the left half forward, and Brereton, good mark. Easily Hawthorn's best player, and Brereton marking about 30 metres on a slight angle. Has taken 6 marks.
8 marks, 6 goals.
Thank you, Bob. That is close to another one. So he'll get his name in the record book anyway as one of a handful of players, which I gave you before, that have kicked 7 goals in a grand final. A great performance by Dermot Brereton in Hawthorn's total of 13 goals, 7. They trail Essendon 22-14.
Bob, he'd have to be in the running in the first 3 best players on the ground for that performance so far, because the odds have been against him, really, haven't they?
They certainly have, Lou. He's been the lone player on the Hawthorn forward line. There's not another Hawthorn forward that has been anywhere like a winner.
Couldn't agree with you more, Bob. 146 to 85, so that will perhaps nullify Essendon's attempts to get the record. Russo, short kick to half forward. Brereton almost brought off a miraculous mark there, then tries to fight Terry Wallace for the ball. He's still got a chance, but it's socked away by the Essendon skipper. Out to the centre wing position. Picked up out there by Russell Morris. Morris has kicked down to half forward, and Matthews, has he taken the mark in front of Carey? He will be painted by the umpire. And Matthews, he'd be a fair way out from goal, 45 to 50 metres. Matthews has scored 1 goal today. If we watch that in replay, juggle.
He caught one too.
Well, he might have paid the free kick. Matthews, will it be his last goal? It won't be a goal, it won't be a score. Foles dispossessed. Brereton, he could get his name in the record books if that's a goal. It is.
Good on him. He's broken the record. 8 goals. That's a fantastic effort, isn't it?
That is the record in the grand final. 8 goals kicked by Dermot Brereton. 22-14 to 14-7. A fine performance.
Yes, you can't. Nothing you could say can express. Look, the way he wins the ball. He tackled. He went back after it. He lost it. He went back after it again. And you could do nothing but speak praise of the effort of Dermot Brereton today. It's easy to go well when your side's winning, but it's not so easy to keep at it like Dermot Brereton has today.
A fine performance by Dermot Brereton, breaking the record for the most number of goals in a final, grand final. 55 points the difference at the 26.5-minute mark of this last quarter of the 1985 grand final. Back it goes to Lester Smith, picked up by Walsh, but he was grabbed, but he didn't have the ball, so Lester Smith takes the free kick a little short of centre-half back. Over the half-forward line, punched away that time by Weston. Picked up now by Baker, a long hand pass to Nobby Clark at centre-half back. Gives it back to Baker again. As I said before, he's been a very handy player today with a beautiful pass there to Walsh. He decides to play on. Showed a bit too much pace for his opponents, looking for Big Salmon again. Flies, taps the ball on, looking there for Watson. He goes down, he tries to get a hand pass out. Couldn't get clear, the ball going for the boundary line and out of bounds. That's the beautiful part of Watson. Good to have cramp. I think it may be cramp.
He's entitled to have, I think.
I'd reckon he's played a fine game too. But that Salmon, he's a marvellous play, keeps on knocking the ball out the ruck or taking marks. He's all over the place. Harvey tried to get a hand pass out to Wellshaw. It's successful. And Salmon's got it right in front, only about 15 metres out, and a chance for goal number 6. I suppose you'd call that a pass, but when it's a missed kick and it comes off, you give it the credit of being a pass, Bob.
It still counts, doesn't it, Lou?
It certainly does, and it's not a bad effort. 6 goals in the grand final either. And we've got about 4 minutes to go. He could finish up with 7 too.
He needs 8 now.
Well, he's got to kick this one because he's only about 15 metres out on a bit of an angle. And there's no worries about that. That's goal number 6 to Salmon. 23 goals, 14, 152 Essendon to Hawthorn, 14-7, 91.
Well, they're the best team throughout the year, losing only 3 matches in the home and away series, and they've illustrated perfectly this afternoon that they're going to be a side to be reckoned with for many years to come. 2 premierships in succession, and the way they're playing today, they could win it for the next 2 as well. 28.5 minutes gone in the final term. 152 to 91 at the 85 premiership contest. Contest perhaps a misnomer at the moment. Madden. Russo. Opposite number 4 is Baker. Baker on left centre wing. Fires out the hand pass to Darren Williams. Back it goes to Baker. In pursuit is Lester Smith for Hawthorn. Baker's kick is a short one. Out of bounds. Not on the full. Or was it on the full? It is on the full. Baker having 31 possessions. Free kick going to Loveridge though. In front is McCarthy. Has the ball thumped away from him. Lester Smith again for Hawthorn. Bounce doesn't favour Danaher. It does favour Carey. Hand pass back to Clark. Over to Hawker. Hawker just about caught with the ball. Out comes Ken Judge. Judge on right centre wing. The kick is high. Underneath it is Matthews, and Matthews stands his ground to take the mark. Long way from goal. Probably about 45 to 50 metres. 29.5 minutes gone. The Hawthorn skipper comes in for a shot at goal. Touched right on the line, I think. Yes, it is. So 1 point to the Hawks, 22-14 to 14-8, 92 to 152. That's a difference of 60 points or 10 goals, if you'd prefer it that way. Either way, it's a good win to Essendon. Danaher at the back, picked up by Walsh. Scoops it out, in fact, almost throws it out to Wellshaw, but the umpire, that was a throw. Clark, long kick, looking for Van der Haar. Duckworth, Izzard. Simply hit him on the head, the ball. Got a good turn of speed, the little redhead. Has a shot at the goals again, and he's done it. Great goal. So Izzard popping through another one. That's his second. And the Bombers 24-18, 158 to 14-8, 92. They've kicked 9 goals this quarter, and that's the same number of goals that they kicked in the grand final quarter last year.
Yes, and Duckworth now showing his adaptability, now playing on the forward line, a hand pass to Izzard, and that little dash that Izzard, you know, I think that's almost the difference between the Hawthorn small men and the Essendon small men. Essendon's smaller players just have that little bit of nip that enables them to break play up.
66 points the difference as we approach the 31-minute mark of this last quarter of the 1985 Grand Final. As I said before, the Bombers have it in the bag. Harvey tries to get clear. Walsh gets a ball, actually passed it over that time to Wellshaw, the ball down to Merritt. And he's kicked 5 goals from centre-half forward, a fine effort too. He's taken 10 marks. There's a short pass, it'll be okay, and Williams has got the mark well within kicking distance.
I think if he kicks this though, it will be a record number of goals for a final quarter in a grand final.
Waiting now for, there's the pass again, right down the throat of Williams. He's only about 25 metres out from goal on a slight angle. I reckon we've got about another 2 minutes to go, Pete.
Yes, a bit of time yet.
Williams going for goal number 2, and of course a big chance to put them 72 points in front, and that's right through the middle for a goal. Now the Bombers winning the flag for 1985, 164 plays, 92.
10 goals they've kicked in the final quarter, and without checking the record books, I'm pretty well certain that it is a record for a last quarter in a VFL Grand Final. They kicked 9 last year. Essendon, they've gone 1 better in season 1985 with a burst of 10 in the final term. Hawthorn has kicked 3.
32.5 minutes gone just about. The centre bounce again, 164 plays, 92, and the Bombers are premiers for 1985 for sure as Madden gets another knockout. Over it goes to Walsh, back it goes to Clark, kicked out wide looking for Rezat. He's taken the mark out there at half-forward, about 50 metres out. He's driving it up to Big Salmon. Can he grab this one? The pack fly, there's too many. That could be Harvey kicking this one. He got it through. It's a goal. That's his 4th. 26 goals, 14, 170. That's the Bomber score for the 1985 Grand Final so far. It's not over to 14 goals, 8-92.
Yes, on replay we see Walsh get the hand pass out. Well taken there by Clark. Izzard takes the mark, and he had one thought at that stage and putting it up to Salmon, and Salmon gets bundled out of the way. And he only just got boot to ball, but nonetheless, that's all that's necessary.
Well, if they get another goal, Bob, they could beat the record that Hawthorn inflicted on them in 83. That was the defeat in excess of 80 points.
Ball back into play again as it goes wide towards the, or over the half-forward line for Hawthorn.
There's the siren
to win the game, and Essendon the premiers for 1985, winning 2 in a row. 26 goals, 14, 170. Essendon to Hawthorn, 14-8, 92.
So Essendon, successive premiers, 84 and 85, and that levels Carlton now with 14 VFL flags. Another coaching triumph for Kevin Sheedy. For the Hawks, they'll be licking their wounds tonight and hoping perhaps they can come back again in 1986. But Essendon thoroughly deserving their premiership win this afternoon. They were the best team right throughout the year, and they handed Hawthorn one farther of a hiding today. The only consolation the Hawks have, they won the reserves flag by defeating Carlton. Kevin Sheedy coming out onto the ground. Is it his last game coaching Essendon? The rumours are still very strong. He's going to be coaching the Sydney Swans next year. We'll know that during the week. Alan Jeans did his best this afternoon, but the Hawthorn players weren't up to it. And so for the Hawks, it will probably a night of merriment. A case of thinking what might have been. Peter Dodigan has Kevin Sheedy.
Well,
Ron Cook, Hawthorn president, just congratulating Kevin Sheedy. Kev, would this win be more satisfying than last year?
I don't compare grand finals. If you're lucky enough to win them and beat them, a club like Hawthorn, I always feel as you can beat a club like Hawthorn in the grand final, you've always earned it, you know, and they're one of the clubs that I've always sort of tried to learn about football off, and naturally we're terribly happy with our win, and I'm really pleased to see the players enjoying it.
Simon Madden and Roger Merritt, fantastic performances.
Yes, they've been wonderful boys to coach, you know. I can't criticise hardly any of the players in the club. They've been a wonderful group of players, and they deserve their second premiership.
Kev, I'll let you go and celebrate with the boys. Kevin Sheedy, Victoria's coach in the grand final. Back to Pete.
Well, thank you, Peter Donegan. We'll take a break and we'll be back for the presentations in just a moment.
Racing, prolific threw its head in the air, lost a length over on the inside.
Be in the running for the Foster's Millions with $2 million in cash available to be claimed. From now right up to Melbourne Cup Day, you can claim $1 cash back for every token redeemed from these Foster's Lager cartons. Plus a chance to win up to $100,000 in the Foster's Millions draw. Get all the details and conditions wherever Foster's Lager is sold. And a chance to win in the Foster's Millions. Brought to you by Foster's Lager, Australia's favourite beer.
The new Hoover President dishwasher is so quiet, it's quieter than a mouse. That's why Hoover is ahead of the rest.
This remote control has a place in tomorrow's TV.
It's right here in this National Portable.
A new model's coming. Can you help us move stock?
The heat is on Victorian Toyota dealers to move current model Corona stocks. To do it, they're giving the hottest new car deals of 85. Scorchers like 4-speed manuals burnt to just $9,990 less with your trade-in. And that's just a warm-up deal. So why buy a used car when you could buy a new Corona for just $9,990, even less with your trade-in? So hurry into the hottest car sale for 85. On now at Victorian Toyota dealers. Nobody else can give you the feeling.
Trains, the most romantic way to travel. 7:30 tonight, a ticket to see magnificent Australia aboard her colourful locos, diesels, sleepers and rattlers. A fascinating trip to remote outposts. A bumpy ride to the back and beyond. Great railway journeys of Australia. The people, the places, the trains that make the rails around Australia unique and exciting. Reserve your seat for the premiere of an entertaining new series, Great Railway Journeys of Australia. 7:30 tonight, following Weird and Wonderful Australians.
In tears, I think. 340 games and receiving a huge round of applause even from the Essendon fans here now as Matthews makes his way to the dressing room for the final time. Nearly a record grand final win to Essendon. They came right away from Hawthorn by booting a record number of goals in the last quarter, and the Hawthorn players, not too many smiles on their faces. They go to the rooms to lick their wounds. The Essendon players stay on the ground to celebrate their second successive flag, equalling the record of Carlton of 14 grand final wins. The applause for their coach, Kevin Sheedy. So the celebrations for Essendon just about to begin as we go down to the Commissioner of the Victorian Football League, Jack Hamilton.
Your Excellency, Mr. Prime Minister, football supporters, congratulations to the Essendon Football Club, premiers in 1985. It's my pleasure to announce the winner of the Norm Smith Medal for Best Player in the Grand Final, Simon Madden of the Essendon Club. I now invite former Secretary of the Melbourne Football Club and lifelong friend of the late Norm Smith, Mr. Jim Cardwell, to make the presentation. Ladies and gentlemen, a worthy winner of a wonderful medal to commemorate a wonderful man, Simon Madden. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the Governor of Victoria,
Sir Brian Murray.
Mr. Commissioner, Prime Minister, Mr. Premier, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to thank, on your behalf, the Victoria Football League, the Melbourne Cricket Club, 3rd Military District Band, the Marching Girls, and Melbourne's own Diana Trask, and everyone here who has made this 1985 Grand Final Day so memorable. This is the 3rd successive year in which these two great teams, Essendon and Hawthorn, have met in the Grand Final, and they have given us a magnificent display of Australian rules football. Both teams reflect the greatest credit on their coaches, their captains, and their clubs. Once again, the power, the endeavour, and the will to win of the Bombers has prevailed. It's now my great pleasure to ask the Premier team, Essendon, to come forward for the presentation of the commemorative medals and the Premiership Cup.
Thank you, Your Excellency. The Essendon Football Club, number 2, Brian Wood. Number 3, Paul Salmon. Number 4, Leon Baker. Number 8, Neil Clark. Number 10, Gary Bowles. Number 13, Darren Williams. Number 14, Tony Elshaw. Number 15, Alan Ezard. Number 13, Stephen Carey. Number 18, Paul van der Haar. Number 22, Bill Duckworth. Number 25, Roger Merritt. Number 26, Mark Thompson. Number 27, Simon Madden. Number 28, Paul Weston. Number 30, Kevin Walsh. Number 32, Vice Captain Tim Watson. Number 33, Glenn Hawker. Number 38, Mark Harvey. Coach, Kevin Sheedy. Captain Terry Danaher. And now, ladies and gentlemen, His Excellency the Governor to make the presentation of the Premiership Cup to captain and coach of the Essendon Football Club, Kevin Sheedy, Terry Danaher.
Essendon, 2 successive premierships, and the players doing their lap of honour, equalling Carlton's record of 14 VFL flags. Bob Skilton, your final comments for season 1985.
Well, if my voice sounds filled with envy, Pete, that's true. I'm always so envious of those players as they do their lap of honour. It's the ultimate in football to be a part of a winning premiership team, and to win back-to-back premierships in the manner that Essendon have this year, well, it speaks volumes for the ability of all and sundry, right from the administration through the coach, Kevin Sheedy, and the players out there on the ground. And it is the players out there on the ground that really have to win the games for a club, and those Essendon players fully deserve the applause that they're getting right now. It's been a magnificent season for Essendon, repeating what was said before the game. 19 out of 22 wins, a great win in the second semi-final, and only needing to play the 2 final games, and in both of them they just destroyed Hawthorn in a manner that, well, it was absolutely awesome. And to think that number 3 that's jumping around there with the Premiership Cup right now is back in business, there must be a few fullbacks around the place that won't sleep easy tonight.
Peter, that's the happiness, that's the happy side of the game. Essendon the victors, but there was a sad note here today to see one of the greatest players of all times, Lee Matthews, play his last game, and it was kind of very sad to see that great champion go off the ground as he did here today.
Yes, he would have loved to have been out there after 340 games, taking the cup off in a grand final. It wasn't to be, but nonetheless a great VFL career, and I'm sure Lee Matthews will bob up somewhere next season in a coaching capacity. We hope you've enjoyed our telecast from the Melbourne Cricket Ground this afternoon of the 1985 Grand Final. A memorable win, a fine match. On behalf of Bob Skilton, Lou Richards, Peter McKenna, and Peter Donegan, our director Don Fitzsimmons, our statistician Paul Todd, a very capable camera crew, we say good afternoon to you all. We hope you've enjoyed the coverage. We hope you can join us again next season for VFL Football on the 7 Network.
It's the greatest place of all. I remember the day my grandpa on the game, and his heroes became my idols as they strode the SCG. be there for the big one was my aim. The 7 wonders of the world, I stood and looked in awe. But there's something back in my hometown that gave me more. 'Cause when the anthem rolls, it's the greatest place of all. When the anthem rolls, it makes your night good talk. To see the fight for glory on the famous